Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. And I am your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. We got my guy, Jarrell, Solo on Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas, man. What's going on, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. You know, every day that you wake up in the morning, the good Lord bless you with another day. It's a great day, brother.
Oh, absolutely, man. I definitely double down on that, man. I hope everybody's going to have a great and fabulous weekend. And I'm going to speak it into existence because up in the Midwest, we had a nice little rainstorm, but it looked like it's gonna get in the 90s in Ohio. So summertime has officially been has hit the Midwest up here. So we'll be in the 90s today and tomorrow, I believe. And so I want to make sure that my grass get cut, man, because when it get hot, that grass start turning brown if you don't water it correctly, man. But what's going on with you, my boy?
I'm good, man. I'm down here trying to slim down, get back. I don't know, want to talk about strippers too early on the show, but trying to get down to my stripper weight. So I've dropped get 15 so pounds already. So Jody, if I tap out during the show, it's because I'm drinking all this green juice. Keeps you very regular. So if I do this right here, that means I need a 2-minute timeout to go handle some business. You know what I'm saying, big dog?
Hey, listen, I definitely understand nothing wrong with getting health. Health is wealth, man. I'm glad you in there doing your thing, getting in the gym, eating right, man. Because, like I said, tomorrow is not promised to anybody, man. We got to take health very, very seriously, man. I try to stay in some type of shape, man. That's why they call me Jody the Big Omen. So that's gonna be my name. I'm gonna change my name to Jody the Big Unit, man. But hey, so can you give people a brief synopsis of what's going on with the World Cup, man, and what's the stages of the World Cup right now, man? Because that's the big buzz around everything. The World Cup, man, is heating up, man.
The World Cup is taking over the world. I mean, it's the most popular sport in the world as we speak right now. Some people don't watch soccer until the World Cup, but I tell you what, man, they got everybody intrigued. It's so crazy when I'm watching these World Cup games. They're playing a lot of them in NFL stadiums, and they did so many makeovers to these stadiums. Don't even look like the stadium that the NFL teams play in. Because look for it says the Cowboy Stadium. They don't even look like the same stadium. They did so many changes to it. But when you paying as much money as I'm pretty sure the World Cup is paying these owners, hey, whatever you want, whatever upgrades or change you guys want to do, I'm all for it because I know the paycheck is going to come through for me. But I'm looking forward to see if the U.S. can bounce back after loss a few days ago. I don't think that really matters because they really didn't need that game. Not that you don't want to win every game, but they didn't really need that one to move on. So I'm looking forward to see. I'm starting to learn more and more about soccer, man. I'm starting to learn the rules. I'm starting to learn the ins and outs of the game, but I'm looking forward to see what's going to move forward if the U.S. Can move forward and possibly make a run towards the championship. I don't know if they're that good, but they're damn sure trying.
Absolutely. The game that they lost to Turkey, they rested all their starters. So uh, the U.S. team has got a good chance as anybody to win the World Cup, man. And we know we're not the favorite to win it. We already know that. We know that we're just a team in this tournament, and we just happen to have some good stretches of playing great soccer. What's up to my man King Minks all the way from Memphis, Tennessee, in the building? What's going on?
What's up, big dog?
But yeah, man, it's been crazy work, man. It's been a lot going on with Against the Grain Sports. Before we get to our show today, man, we talked about the World Cup, of course. The hockey just had their draft. The Maple Leafs got the #1 pick in that draft, so we'll see how good that they will end up being. But we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Michael Wright, attorney at law. If you have any kind of legal issues that's going on, call Mike and any 50 of the states and cities across the country. You can call him at 937-222-7477. The Detroit Lions cornerback Arnold may need to call Mike. We'll get into that a little bit later, man. I don't really like talking about stuff because I don't know exactly what happened. I know this is just the ESPN report said that he's indicted or he's been arrested for kidnapping and armed robbery. And this was back in February that this happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to accuse this young man of anything just because the reports are out doesn't mean that it's true. But it's sad because when you got guys that got that type of money, and they're still out here acting as if they're, they don't. give me a brief synopsis before we get into the show about that, man.
Honestly, Jody, like you said, I don't know the ins and outs of the whole story, but I do know you have to be careful who you associate yourself with. I don't know, this guy might be the ringleader. I don't know that, but I do know once you get to a certain status, you can't act like you're better than the people you grew up with, but you do have to change your inner circle. I mean, it is what it is, man. You have a whole lot to lose, brother, because if this goes left for this guy, his career is going to be over, and he's going to be in the jailhouse telling people, I used to play in the NFL. And until I did this dumb shit and ruined my life. I hope it's not true for his sake and everyone else. Hope everyone's okay. But man, this situation seems very fishy. They already arrested the guy. I'm not saying he's guilty. You know, people get arrested all the time for things they didn't do, but you got to be careful. Young people, listen to me, young and old. Be careful who you associate yourself with, because things go left and people gonna start pointing fingers, and you are the most popular guy in this situation. So your name, just like Ray Lewis had to go through this, you're going to get blamed for every single thing because of who you are.
Absolutely. Like King Mink said, you got to be careful who you associate yourself with. It's very unfortunate. Even if he is innocent, it's very unfortunate. It's going to tarnish his reputation. The prosecutors, I did just read that the prosecutors do not want him out of jail until the process is concluded. So they're not giving him an opportunity to get any bail. Like I said, we've seen this situation happen with Michael Vick, where, you know, it happened with him with his legalities, and he ended up taking the fall for the whole organization. This is a situation, you know, Ja Morant, you know, where you got all these guys around, and Ja Morant is the one that takes the fall, or he gets suspended. He's the breadwinner. So Allen Iverson, I seen guys across the NFL or sports and entertainment that you just got to watch who you deal with, man. Everybody in your camp ain't for you. So I hope that this young man, he's innocent. I hope he is, and I hope that the victim. Let's go ahead. Let me clear this. I hope the victim is a victim or victims are okay. Hope that they're okay. That's what we forget about in all these situations about the victims. So I just hope the victims that are involved, everything end up being okay. And I'm just hoping it's just a whole big misunderstanding.
I hope so, bro. I hope so, Jody, because kidnapping is a serious allegation. It's one thing to say certain things about people. You don't want to be arrested for anything, but kidnapping is major.
Yeah, my man Paul in the building for the extra point.
What up, Paul?
He said, "What's up?" He said, "Have a great show, fella." He said, "Story as well. Can't understand how a millionaire allows himself to get in this situation, and we see that Ja never recovered, and his friends can't help him get a new contract." Yeah, and I'm glad that you just said that. We're gonna go right into our NBA segment right now. So we're gonna get right. The biggest thing that happened, you know, we haven't been on the air in a week, and the biggest thing that happened is the Miami Heat trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo from the
I like that. Say that again, Jody.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Boy, I tell you, you've been practicing that one. That was spot on.
Hey, listen, I'm trying to do the
Jody, the great late Stuart Scott will be proud of that, brother. He nailed
it. He cool as the other side of the pillow.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my man Stuart Scott, man. Rest in peace. But yeah, man. So the Miami Heat. We talked about this the day before the trade, and we thought that he would have been better suited going to Boston. But the great Pat Riley, the Godfather himself, lured him to South Beach, as he done to so many other superstars, LeBron James being another one. What do you think about this? They had to give up a lot, but do you think it was worth it?
Not if they're. It's only worth it, Jody, for Miami if they gonna make some more changes. They do not have any point guards. Who's gonna run point guard? I'm thinking Ray, the Miami Heat fan on the show, is gonna have to go play point guard for the Miami Heat. Because right now they don't have a point guard. I mean, they have Bam, Giannis. Who else is on that roster, Jody? That's actually really good.
They still got Powell.
But I think Norman Powell's a free agent, so they're gonna have to convince him to stay.
I think they can. He's the guy to give you 20 points a game. They got Andrew Wiggins still on there. They got the guard, the other guard, Mitchell. So
he's more of a defensive type. Yeah, he's good. He's a good young player. I don't know, man. I don't think that's enough to get them over the top. I didn't think they'd be able to get it done, Jody. I'm pretty sure Miami don't have a first round pick for the next. I think our grandkids will be out of high school before Miami gets another first round pick. They really traded their future for Giannis. And like you've been saying, Jody, hopefully Giannis can stay healthy for his sake and the Miami Heat, because if he has to start having those lower leg injuries like he's been having the last couple of years, this is not going to be a good trade for the Miami Heat. But I know Milwaukee got a lot back in return. So in a small market like Miami, kind of like Oklahoma City, they're gonna have to get it through the trade, through the draft. Other than that, no one's really going to go to Milwaukee unless they get drafted there or traded there. So maybe they can build off of this, and maybe they can build their own dynasty like the Oklahoma City is doing right now.
No doubt. My man Jamario Nelson in the building. What's good, my boy? C Dub in the building. They Paul said, okay, JC debate team. He was talking about debating the team, and then King Mink said the Heat gonna need some shooters. Jamario said my Hawks they did have a really good draft. Then Jamario said we need a point guard, a versatile center. And we got some other stuff. Great comments coming in. Paul also said I think it's worth it because Miami has always been competitive with or without superstars. Giannis should move right into the top 5 in the Eastern Conference.
The East is better than what people give him credit for.
Yeah, and then Pat Riley said, King Mink said Pat Riley said he's not bringing Giannis' brother to Miami. Yeah, I think he's cut. Now this is the thing. Giannis going to Miami, I think it's a win now situation. That's the type of city Miami is. If you go back and you look at the historical aspect of Miami sports, you look at the Florida Marlins at the time when they were the Miami Marlins now, and they went and bought two MLB championships. And I think this is what they're trying to do. I think Giannis, and you add him with Bam, they didn't have to give up their best player in Bam Adebayo. They didn't have to give up Andrew Wiggins, a guy that is a good two-way player that loves it when he's the third or fourth option. And then, like you said, you convinced Norman Powell to stay. But this is the key element, and this is the elephant in the room. Now this opens the floodgates for your man LeBron James to return back to South Beach as a free agent and come in.
Wow.
Why wouldn't LeBron want to come play with Giannis and Bam Adebayo for one last hoorah? Him and Pat Riley commend anything that they had going on. LeBron go down there last season, put the pedal to the metal. They'll start getting mid-level guys to come in to be bench players. We knew that Spoelstra has always been able to get those G League players and coach those guys up in Miami. Go look at all their rosters. It was full of G League players. So what's the difference now? You convince Norman Powell to sign back and just go all in for one season. Go all in. And I can see LeBron James potentially going back to Miami, teaming up with Giannis and Bam Adebayo because they wouldn't have to give anything up because LeBron James is a what? Free agent. Talk to me, so.
Jody, this is why this show is so great. Everyone needs to be listening to Against the Grain Sport because we are like Negro dominances on this show. We predict things that other people. I've been watching this trade talk for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and it finally went down. And no one has been saying that LeBron James might go back to Miami except for you, brother. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's going back to one of his old homes where he won 2 championships. Apparently, he left there because Pat Riley took away his boneless cookies. Apparently, that's what I'm hearing. He said no more cookies on the plane, snacks, things of that nature. So if Pat Riley can allow LeBron to get his cookies back and get back on the Miami Heat, I love this idea. And I tell you what, if the Miami Heat get LeBron James, Giannis, and Bam, the Miami Heat going to have 82 primetime games next year in the NBA. Every game is going to be on TV.
And the thing about it, you can simultaneously rest those guys because you know LeBron James only need to play 50 games. Giannis only needs to play 50 games. Bam, you play him about 65 games, but you intertwine those. You may only play all 3 of the guys together maybe about 25 times in the regular season. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be the number 1 seed because there's really no home court advantage when it comes to Miami. Miami is not a team that cares about home court advantage. You see what I'm saying? Miami is a team, if you get in the playoffs, we know that Spoelstra is a good enough coach to try to do so. King Mink also said it too about Bronny. I didn't see that. I don't watch their show, so this is definitely just coming off my dome. Not to mention, Paul said if LeBron James is able to say Dan Gilbert, he forgive Dan Gilbert, why can't he forgive Pat Riley? So it's definitely a possibility, man. So
hey, Joe, here's the thing, Joe. If LeBron goes back to Miami, do they reenact the light show they had when they made the big 3 down? Remember they all came down like they were the Beatles, came down. You think they reenact that, Joe?
I don't think they need to do that, but my thing is LeBron James is looking at the Lakers, who has not given him an offer, and they go and sign Austin Reeves to this crazy money. And he's looking at the Lakers like, okay, y'all ain't trying to win shit. Y'all sign Austin Reeves back. Y'all ain't trying to do shit. The Lakers ain't trying to do nothing, but Miami is trying to make major moves. Don't be surprised if that's something that can happen him going back to the Miami Heat. But keeping this thing moving, it's another blockbuster trade that really I was really scratching my head when I seen it. And the Charlotte Hornets traded point guard LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Timberwolves for Nas Reed and some picks. So talk to me. What did you see when you heard this deal, and what's the possibilities, and why get rid of your point guard that got you to the best season that y'all have had in almost the whole franchise history?
I don't know. It made no sense to me. On the Charlotte side of things, I mean, like you said, that's their best player in my eyes. I'm not saying that Con Knipple. Did I say that right, Joe? I know you're the wordsmith on the show. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. He's a good three-point shooter, but he needs somebody to get him those shots. He's not. He can create his own shot. They re-signed the point guard from the Tar Heels. What's the young brother named Kobe White? I think that's going to be the new point guard moving forward. Maybe they didn't think that LaMelo style of basketball can get them a championship. I don't know. Not the Charlotte Hornets know anything about a fucking championship, but I do like it for Minnesota because you want to keep Ant-Man happy. I'm pretty sure Ant-Man was a little frustrated towards the end of the season, the way his teammates were playing. So I don't like giving up Nas Reed because he's a very good stretch forward. I didn't really like giving him up, but to get a superstar back like LaMelo is you got to give up something to get something. So all that being said, I think the Timberwolves going to be very exciting, fun to watch, score a lot of points, a lot of flash, crazy after post game interviews with those two. But I don't think they're going to be good enough to win the championship. But I think they're going to be fun to watch.
When I seen the trade, I just instantly thought they can't be serious in either one of these cities. I mean, you can't be serious in Charlotte. You had something to build upon in Charlotte. Now you got this young up and coming superstar. I think Melo Ball is not even 25 years of age yet. He takes your franchise to 44 victories, something that y'all hadn't seen probably since Larry Johnson. Y'all probably ain't seen that since Kemba Walker. And you get rid of this guy. And now I'm looking at their roster, look at their draft picks, and it seemed like they're getting whiter and whiter in Charlotte. I don't know if this is the move. I don't know if this is the move for these. I'm looking at a lot of NBA teams like the Lakers who look like in sync now. The Charlotte Hornets look like the Backstreet Boys. I don't know if this is the element that they're trying to do. I don't know if they're trying to reform the Boston Celtics of the 80s. But it seemed like you can't be serious when you get rid of your best player, and then you don't even really get another superstar in return. You don't even get another super. You get no disrespect to Nas Reed, but Nas Reed is not on the same level of Melo Ball.
No.
This is all you get in return. You would have been better off sending Melo Ball to San Antonio and getting a De'Aaron Fox in return. In some of their draft picks from San Antonio, that would have been a better suit than sending him to Minnesota. It's basically like, in my mind, when I saw this trade, Charlotte gave him away.
Yeah.
Charlotte gave him away. Now on Minnesota's side, I don't think you're serious because you just had three good runs. You had 3 good seasons. You had 3 good runs. You was in the Western Conference Finals twice, and you made it to the second round. You're not too far off. I know you got to go through OKC in San Antonio to try to get to the championship. But I think you went in reverse because now this would have been a good trade for me if they kept Randall. If they would have kept Julius Randle and just added these pieces, then I was like, oh, this is a great move. If you keep Julius Randle, have Julius Randle go to his natural 4th option or 3rd option, and have Melo and Ant-Man as your 2 top guys, maybe your 4th option because you didn't have to give up McDaniels. Then you could have kept Rudy Gobert. He could have been your defensive anchor. That's where I feel like that's why neither one of these teams are serious. So,
well, Jody, we've talked about on this great show of ours how the game is going to guards and forwards, and that's what Minnesota is basically trying to do right now. If you think about it, they got LaMelo, Ant-Man, Jaden McDaniels, and they re-signed Ayo. Did I say that right, Jody?
Yeah,
they re-signed him also. So that's a bunch of guards and forwards right there, and then they still have the soft croissant Frenchman in the middle who probably can't even score on me in the post. Rudy, so he's ass, not good ass either. He's bad ass when on the offensive side. So who's going to play power forward for this team? And maybe they don't care about that. The Spurs didn't have a power forward, and they went damn near won a championship. So maybe they'll just say, hey, we're just going to play and I'll score everybody and see how far we can get.
I get it because the Knicks didn't have a power forward either. But like I said, I can't take either one of these teams serious on this trade because Charlotte could have got way more in return.
How many draft picks did they get in return, Joe? They got 2 or 3 first rounders, right?
Yeah, but that's you got a young team right now that can win. Like you got to no disrespect to the Knicks, but the Knicks hadn't won a championship in 53 years. So anything's possible. Anything's possible, bro. And all you need to do if you're going to trade LaMelo Ball, you should have put a package together to go get Ja Morant or something like that. Go get something equal value. Nas Reed is not equal value to Melo Ball. No disrespect to Nas Reed, but he's not equal value. You just traded actual equal value for a true value player. You know you go to Walmart.
But Joey, I think Nas Reed is a nice player. Don't get me wrong, he's really good. But he's that piece you make, your move you make to that final piece you need to get over the hump. Like when Detroit made a trade to get Rasheed Wallace, and he was that final piece to help that team win the championship. That's the kind of guy you bring in Nas Reed in for, not to be one of your centerpieces for a championship. I don't really see this happening.
Wait a minute. So you traded your star player for a bench player.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they did. Yeah.
He couldn't even. Nas Reed didn't even crack the starting lineup. He couldn't even start over Julius Randle. So you go trade your best player. This guy's a 30-point a game player when he's healthy, or 25, 30-point a game guy. He's going to give you 6 or 7 assists a game. He's going to give you 4 to 5 rebounds a game for a guy that potentially gives you 12 points a game off the bench. And once again, I don't think he starts for Charlotte. Charlotte is loaded. He's not going to start over Mikal Bridges. I mean, not Mikal Bridges. Bridges. I forget his name. I forget his first name. But he's not starting over him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't starting over Con Knipple. So
I think it was smart on Minnesota's side. I kind of like what Minnesota's doing. They probably thought after we made the championship run couple times, they probably feel it's kind of getting stale. They'll be like, you know what? We might need to make some changes here. I kind of see what they're thinking because they figure Spurs are way better than us. Oklahoma City is way better than us. We might need to make some change. We want to keep Ant-Man away from the Hawks because that's where everyone knows that's where he really wants to be.
Well, see, I get that. But the problem is if you're going to make this deal a day after you trade, you make the deal a day after you trade Julius Randle. And then another thing, you didn't get shit back in return. You got drafted. And maybe it's a money thing with Julius Randle going to the Nets. But I'm pretty sure some teams that would have actually gave you some great compensation, at least some equal or comparable compensation for Julius Randle. People be sitting on Julius Randle like he trash. Did he have some bad runs? Bad games in the playoffs, but the reason why he had bad games in the playoffs is because he's not a number 2. Y'all forcing guys to play positions that they're not. Julius Randle is a solid 3 or a high-level 4, and that's what he would have been on this roster if you don't trade him, because you didn't have to trade him. You didn't have to. You could have got LaMelo Ball and still kept Julius Randle, and then you would have had a damn good team that could be a championship caliber team. But when you got rid of Randle and you brought in Ball, I can't take you serious as a championship contender after the runs you had.
Yeah, but how many $100 million contracts can you have on your roster? If Julius Randle's making $100 million, they just re-signed Ayo to $100 million, which is he's not going to be a starter. He's making $100+ million. And LaMelo, you can't have too many $100 million contracts on your roster. Like you said, I think it was a money dump. That's the reason why I think they only got was the second round picks for Julius Randle. I think they did that just to get rid of his contract because they want to make some changes. They figure, hey, we'll just cut our losses here. Somebody else can have that contract, and we'll just take back some second rounders in the future.
Man, fuck that. You know why I say fuck that. So this is why I say fuck that. Is goddamn it, Jalen Brunson took some money. He took less money to win a championship. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to take less money so y'all can get some talented players in there, or get rid of fucking Rudy Gobert. Like, why not get rid of Rudy Gobert and keep Julius Randle? But I don't know. It's some odd shit they believe in Rudy Gobert. And year in and year out, he keeps fucking disappointing you. Every fucking year, he disappoints you. He becomes a liability on defense when he's supposed to be one of the best defensive players of all time. And he becomes a liability year in and year out in the defense on defense in the playoffs. They put him in pick and roll situation. Now he played a lot better, but Giannis towards the last few, I'm not Giannis, but Wemby towards the last couple games in that series, Wemby had his way with one of the greatest defensive players of all time, according to the statistics.
Yeah, he played good against the Joker in that second round. Was that the first round?
First round.
He played pretty decent against the Joker, but the Wemby ate his lunch, man. He had no chance against Wemby.
Right, no doubt. Real quick, let's get to these comments. What we got here? They said Paul said, but Rudy was a huge reason they beat Denver. His play on the Joker was something. Okay. The Joker was gonna run out of gas regardless who the fuck was checking. I keep telling y'all about the Joker. Nobody wants to hear about this. I know the Joker is so great. Look at his numbers. The motherfucker ain't been out the second round but one time in his career. And that's the year he won the championship. But nobody want to talk about that. That's okay. This dude in 6 years, he's been 1 or 2 in the MVP voting. 1 or 2 and got 1 championship in 1 second. He only got out the second round 1 time in his career. But we want to just say this guy is one of the best centers. He would have ran out of gas against anybody because that's just what happens to the Joker. He runs out of gas when he gets to game 5, 6, and 7. Look at his games 5, 6, and 7 in anyone that he lost. So he runs out of gas. His stats are phenomenal.
Yeah,
but he runs out of gas.
I wonder if the Joker is really good at basketball, but I don't know if he really loves the game. I'm pretty sure he makes so much money, so he's like, shit, I'm gonna keep playing because they're paying me so much. But is he gonna get motivated this offseason and say, you know what? People putting smut on my name. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna lose 15 pounds. I'm gonna come back a little bit slimmer and lead this team back to at least the conference finals. Does he have that mentality? I don't think he does.
No, he don't. No, you can't listen, man. He been in the league this is gonna be his 10th year in the league coming up. Is he gonna always be in the MVP? Yes, because people love players from overseas. They like I say it all the time on the show. They coddle players from overseas. They cannot do no wrong. They can go and push players, start fights, not get suspended. They can say what they want. They can underperform, and people do not criticize these overseas players. You telling me? Let me ask you a question. And we're gonna get to the other top. I'm gonna ask you a question. Give me a player. Ant-Man. Let's just use Ant-Man for example. If Ant-Man was in the league 9 years and had the same resume as the Joker, and he's supposed to be the face of the NBA, how tarnished would his reputation be if he going into year 10 and he can't get out the second round?
Well, the foreign players can just do this. Me not speaking no English. I don't understand what you're saying. Ant-Man, American-born players don't get to use that card. This is our game, and you're going to have to. I don't know. I agree on 100% what you're saying. They get a different treatment than us American-born players. We know. But if Ant-Man has already won a championship, I'm pretty sure they would let him slide if he has won a championship to this point. If he had his same resume with the MVPs that the Joker has had, he's won, 2 or 3 MVPs? Let's say in the next 4 or 5 years, Ant-Man won the championship and a couple MVPs. That's pretty damn good, Jody.
Well, maybe Ant-Man is not a good comparison because Ant-Man plays in Minnesota. So 1 championship in Minnesota would mean 10 championships because Minnesota has never won one.
Now, if he was a Laker, that'd be different.
That's what I'm saying. If he was a Laker, if LeBron James would have did this and had the same resume, we'll be talking about how bad a player LeBron James is. Dude got 4 championships, and we still talking about how bad a player he is and what he don't do and what he can't do, and he need to retire. I think he should play basketball as long as he can play basketball because he's playing at a high level. I don't want him to retire. I think a lot of people want him to call it quits. I don't want LeBron James to retire. I think LeBron James is good for the game. I think he's a guy. Is he the same player? No. I don't like the Jordan comparisons, but my thing is I don't want him to retire because we're going to miss him when he's gone. We're going to miss him when he's gone. When them NBA checks start getting a little bit thinner, the reason why any of these players got these big checks is because of LeBron James and them TV deals that he created. And I think he get disrespected so much. Even fellow players disrespecting. Dylan Brooks, you wouldn't even have a fucking contract without him. Like, come on, bro. I like Dylan Brooks, but it's like you trying to get a name off of LeBron James. Like you trying to be LeBron James. Remember when Kobe had Ruben Patterson? He was a Kobe stopper.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop Kobe. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like,
hey, think about a guy like Skip Bayless spent his last 20 years, made all this money off of Fox and all these other platforms just talking about LeBron James, how much he hates him, how much of a good player he's not, criticizing his free throw percentage, like this man's not a great player. So, yeah, a lot of people have made money off the great LeBron James.
Yeah, it sounds like your boy Joe Budden's making money off my boy Drake, man. You ain't gonna leave, man. He said every time Drake says his name, he get $1 million. And Drake made a song like y'all getting too big off my name. It's enough.
Hey.
It's enough. But let's talk about a team that's really making some very, very good moves, man. And the Detroit Pistons are quietly doing the things that Detroit needs to do. I think one of the best things they did was they got rid of Beef Stew. I think that he was not giving anything to that team. People like he's the heart and soul of the team. Where was he in the playoffs? I don't even think he got in the goddamn game in the playoffs. You can only fight so fucking much. Like if he maybe Beef Stew need to go join the MMA after his NBA career is over, but he goes over to Memphis. So I think that opens up the room for Jalen Dorm to be that leader in the front court. But they go get Isaiah Joe, a very good outside shooter from the Oklahoma City Thunder, a team that has won the championship. So you bring that championship pedigree over there. He's a great off the ball guy that can spot up and let Cade Cunningham, get to his spots and then kick it to guys like Isaiah Joe that can knock down a 3-point shot on a consistent basis. What do you think about this move that Detroit made?
I like it, Jody. You talked about last year how eventually Oklahoma City is going to start losing some of these really good bench players. They've been sitting on their bench, and people forget about these players because Oklahoma City has so many good players. Listen, what about Isaiah Joe? Now he can go to Detroit and spread his wings a little bit more because he was buried on the bench in Oklahoma City this past season. He played in the playoffs because they had so many injuries, but he really wasn't playing that much. I think this is a good pickup for Detroit. They need more shooting, and he's also a good defender. Hopefully in Detroit they have better barbers that can fix his dreads. His cornrows are a little dusty, so hopefully in Detroit he can get him a nice haircut up there and put some more of that green grease in his hair and tighten things up for him. But he's a good player, though. I think he'll fit nice in Detroit.
Now, see, in Detroit, man, they got some good barbers, but they rugged in Detroit, man. So I don't know. He gonna have them frizzy braids. He gonna have them jailhouse braids up there, baby. Fuck around with them.
I went to Detroit one time, Jordan, as a kid, and they were driving us around. They were like, "Hey, yeah, this is over here is a nice area." I'm like, "This is nice." Shit.
Nah. Hey, Detroit, wow.
It's different, bro. It's different.
My my daughter lives up in the suburban areas of Detroit, but I got to go through there. So Detroit cool though, man. Detroit real cool, man. We dating model ourselves after Detroit, man. But Detroit is real cool. But nevertheless, man, Isaiah Joe comes in. This is a guy that can come in instantly and be a 12 to 15 point scorer on Detroit. That's what they were lacking in the playoffs. They can't just dump everything on Cade Cunningham. We see that he can respond, and he's an elite player in this league. But guys like Jalen Dorn, we got to take some pressure off of him. He couldn't. I think the pressure was too much for him in the playoffs. His average dropped like 7 or 8 points. His rebound dropped about 4 or 5 rebounds. And I think when you bring a guy like Isaiah Joe, who has been starving to be a starter in this league, I think he's going to come in. He won't start immediately, but I think he will work his way into the starting lineup. And him and Cade Cunningham will be great in the backcourt. They're making just some very solid moves. They're very active in this free agency and trades and draft. I think that they got a kid in the draft named Okur. He's out of Stanford. This is a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people. He was one of the top freshman scorers in the country. We talked about Acuff, and we talked about Kingston Flemings, and we talked about AJ and Darren Peterson, rightfully so. But this kid at Stanford was putting up about 19 to 20 points a game. Then Detroit Pistons get this guy at the 17th pick via trade. He's going to be a guy that can fill it up in bunches. So I think Detroit is really starting to make a stride to be more offensive oriented. What do you think about that? Because Detroit can play defense, but they need some offense.
I agree, man. That was a problem last year in the playoffs. That's the reason why they went seven games in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, because they don't have enough offense. So they know the weakness in the offseason. They right now they're trying to build that offense up and score a little bit more points. And they're going to be one of the favorites to come out of the East again this coming up season. If they offense can click a little bit better, the bad boys might be back, and they might make a run for the championship this year.
No doubt.
They have to resign. I think Durham is a free agent also.
I think they resigned it.
Did they already?
I think they resigned it.
Okay. I know that was the big issue. They were wondering if he was going to get as much money as he wanted, because he really didn't play well in the playoffs either.
Yeah, but he's young. He's 22 years old. I mean, we've seen Scottie Pippen not play well in playoffs early on. We've seen a lot of guys that struggle early on in their playoffs careers, and he'll get better. But once again, I think it was too much pressure on that front court. He didn't have any really help out of that front court. Everything was on Cade Cunningham and Jalen Dorm, and now you add some veterans like Isaiah Joe, who's crazy. He's a veteran in NBA years, but he's still a relatively young player. And they can help the Duncan Robertsons of the world, who I was very surprised they had a good playoff run. I guess if you can shoot the ball, when you got a creator like a Cade Cunningham, you could be a very effective person in the NBA. But real quick, King Mink said his rumors that Kawhi Leonard may still end up in Detroit. If he ends up in Detroit, now we talking. If Kawhi Leonard goes to Detroit, I really believe they are definitely the favorite to not only win the Eastern Conference, but potentially win the championship. So
Is Kawhi a free agent?
They might have to trade for him, but King Mink said he's up for a max contract now. Do I think Jalen Zorn is worth a max contract? But who else you gonna get that money to? But a guy that was an all-star. I think they can figure that out. I think they'll definitely figure that out. But good move, bring Isaiah Joe over from Oklahoma City, Detroit. I like the move. But that's not the big elephant in the room. Is this? The Boston Celtics still have Jaylen Brown on their roster, and this is a guy that's been rumored in trade talk all week. I don't think he can go back to Boston. So I think now it's like I think the relationship between him and the organization is basically what they say, burning bridges. The bridges is burnt, and I hope he can't swim. So what do you think Jaylen Brown ends up? Because now people are gonna lowball the hell out of him, out of the Boston Celtics organization. Where does he go?
I think the guy we just spoke of before this segment, maybe they'll be perfect fit. Maybe him trading for Kawhi Leonard. Maybe Kawhi Leonard can go to Boston, and Jaylen Brown, who is now he went to school out on the West Coast. I think he's from Atlanta. But he went to school in Cal. I think he went to Cal Berkeley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
So maybe make that trade. Maybe trade Kawhi for Jaylen Brown, and both guys get a fresh start.
Yeah, but no. I mean, I think Kawhi Leonard. I don't know, man. I don't know if he goes to Boston. He plays the same position, the same style as Jason Tatum. So when you need to get a polar opposite for him, far as Jaylen Brown, but it's right now people are gonna lowball the hell out of you, and I'm like, Boston is not a team that wants to get draft pieces. Like they've been there, done that. And Jaylen Brown, man, I think if you look around the league, okay, well, send him out to Phoenix and bring in Devin Booker. Send him out to the desert, bring in Devin Booker. I think that's comparable for both people. I think it gives Boston a different element because now I think Devin Booker is a better outside shooter and he's a better ball handler, so it takes the pressure off of Jason Tatum because Jaylen Brown is just a downhill scorer, but he's a better defender. I think you can sacrifice defense because I think Devin Booker is a solid defensive player and can score. I think even though Jaylen Brown averaged more points than Devin Booker, I think Devin Booker's a better scorer than Jaylen Brown overall.
I agree.
I think that I send him out to the desert, man. Send him out to Phoenix and swap some picks. But I think that'll be a fresh start for both of those guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, Devin Booker, I don't know if he's going to ever get over the hump in Phoenix. They had that shot a few years ago when they went to the championship, and the West is so tough now. That would be a good change of pace for him. He'd have a better chance to win a championship in Boston. I think do what he has in Phoenix. I like that. Maybe Jody. Maybe think crazy. Maybe Jaylen Brown to the Spurs. The Spurs have a bunch of young players on their roster. They can definitely trade to Boston and keep Boston happy. I don't know if the Spurs want to go that crazy and think outside the box like that, but he would definitely fit down here in San Antonio with that Wemby.
Only way that makes sense for my Spurs to trade him is if they trade him for, like, you know what I'm saying, get rid of De'Aaron Fox.
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe send De'Aaron Fox and maybe send Peasy up there, and you bring Jaylen Brown back in return, and you insert Dylan Harper into the starting lineup. So I think that would be a good move. But King Mink said maybe to the Rockets for KD. And so then he said, here goes Jody with his light-skinned brothers. Hey, what's up, Asia? What's up, sis? She in the building. King Mink said, I think Boston has to trade him, and then Stephen A. Smith can talk bad about him. Yeah, I think that would Stephen A. Smith. I don't know where Stephen A. Smith creates more enemies with fellow athletes than anybody I've ever seen. But I don't know, man, Jaylen Brown. But it's like you can't go back. Jaylen Brown cannot be a Celtics year. I don't think he plays. And okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a second. If he does stay in Boston, how does that work? If he stays in Boston, how does that work?
If Jaylen Brown stays in Boston,
yeah.
Because if he stays there, as soon as their first media day, that's the first thing they're going to bring up. So, are you still happy here? Did you ever want to get traded? Has he officially said he wanted to be traded? This is something Boston is saying. I don't think he's actually said he wanted to be traded.
No, Boston is saying he's not saying he wanted. Boston is saying they want to trade him now for whatever reason.
I think they're unhappy with some of the post game things he's been doing. That's what I think, Jody. But from him, they're going to ask him right away about being traded. If I was him, I'd be like, hey, I love it here. If the organization decides to trade me, it's not my decision. It's on them. That's what I throw it back on them. That's what I would say. But
now we talking basketball fit. If I'm Jaylen Brown, I got to go to a contender though. You can't just send me to the Sacramento Kings, man. Think that shit cool.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe Toronto. Well, they got a nice young core. Maybe they can trade him to Toronto, and you know they've won the championship years ago.
Well, what about the Dick up there though?
The Dick would have to go to Boston. The Dick would have to go to Beantown.
The Dick and the Bean. It's crazy work. But a lot of people are rumoring Jaylen Brown to go to the Cavaliers. They said that, you know, he potentially can go to Cavaliers. They're talking about giving up Evan Mobley. What do you think about that potential trade, Evan Mobley for Jaylen Brown? Because I think that Boston will be getting fleeced if you don't get anything less than a superstar back for Jaylen Brown. I think you're getting fleeced.
Well, Jody, like you said, if this happens, Boston, that means they did it to themselves because they've been putting out there that they want to trade this guy. So when you do that, you're going to get lowballed. So yeah, that's not an even trade, but sometimes in life you have to just take what someone's offering you. If it gets to that point, I guess Evan Mobley is a very good defender. He's not really aggressive enough on the defense. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, but he definitely brings the defense if that's what they're looking for.
Come on, man, the league. We talk about defense all the time. It's a league that you got to score goddamn points in. And Evan Mobley, to me, why ain't you doing this shit in Cleveland? You're the focal point in Cleveland. You're the third option in Cleveland, and you couldn't get it done. So what makes you come over to Boston where you potentially going to be the second option? Because he's going to be the second option. He comes to Cleveland. Yeah. If you get rid of Jaylen Brown, your second option behind Jason Tatum is going to be Evan Mobley. And I don't think look, man, let me go ahead and say this, man. I'm gonna go ahead and fucking say this. It's against the grain sport. I'm tired of y'all putting players in positions they don't belong in. Stop putting these players that are bona fide twos or low-level twos. Y'all trying to make them number ones. You got number ones that are you forcing people to be number ones. You forcing guys that should be threes. You forcing them to be twos. They like, Jody, what do you mean? I mean, y'all putting guys and forcing guys to be something that they're not. That's why they can't fulfill their true potential of who they are. I know y'all don't like hearing that shit. Kevin Durant was never a number one. He was a number one scorer, but he was never a number one on anybody's fucking team since he's been in the league. He's never been a number one. You forced Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was not a number one. Did he have a good season? Yes, but what happened when the chips were down? He was not a number one.
You said Kevin Durant wasn't number one when he was with the Thunder?
Hell nah.
Jody, come on, bro.
Westbrook was the alpha dog.
Nigga, who led Oklahoma City to the championship that year they did go and they lost? That was Kevin Durant.
Westbrook was the best player on that goddamn team, and I
don't know about that.
The point I'm trying to make is he was the best scorer. But he wasn't the leader. He wasn't. Kevin Durant, Westbrook has been a leader since he's been there.
Well, but he's not a better basketball player than Kevin Durant.
Why not? Why not?
The leadership thing, I give you that. I give you Kevin Durant. He's not a leader. I get that. When it comes to just straight hooping, he's better than Russell Westbrook.
So King Mink said, Jody, what the fuck you just say? I just said that Kevin Durant. I mean, I stand on business.
Yeah.
I said that Kevin Durant was the best scorer, but he wasn't the number one on the team. It's guys that can score like nobody's business. But are you going to put Kevin Durant as your number one? Look what happens when Kevin Durant is your number one. What has he done?
But Jody, when they got to the championship, when he was in Oklahoma, last play of the game, they're running the play for Kevin Durant. They're not running the play for fucking Russell Westbrook. Now, I'm not shitting on Westbrook because he's a phenomenal Hall of Fame player, but he's not Kevin Durant.
Hold on. And then King Mink says, so when KD left Oklahoma City, Westbrook still battled him in the playoffs. What are you talking about? Westbrook was an MVP when he left. What are y'all talking about? He was an MVP when KD left. He was averaging a triple-double when he left. Are we forgetting that?
Well, no slight on Westbrook, but he was padding stats when. Come on, man. Let's be real, dog. Let's keep it funky.
Hold on. So now Westbrook is padding stats, but the Joker is not padding stats?
I never said the Joker wasn't padding stats. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook. And they were on those teams in Oklahoma City when he was there. They weren't very good basketball teams. When Westbrook
they made it to the playoffs every year.
Nigga, 8 teams make it to the playoffs. They don't mean shit. The 8 teams in each conference make it to the playoffs. That's not very impressive to make it to the playoffs. We're not talking baseball. It was only like 4 teams. 8 teams make it, and half the damn teams in your conference make it to the playoffs. So making it there don't mean shit.
So now Westbrook ain't good.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we have this conversation. I'm not saying Westbrook is not a very good player, but I don't think he's on the same level as Kevin Durant. This is my opinion.
Did y'all hear what I'm saying?
But I think, Jordan, where we're getting this confused, dog, is that you're saying that he wasn't the leader of the team. What you're saying,
right? That's what I'm saying.
So, I get that, but I'm saying, but when it comes to just hooping, I think Kevin Durant's better.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant is one of the best players that ever touched the floor. Just
if
it was. You've been to the YMCA.
Yeah.
You see niggas that can play, but they don't never win. They'll have 8 out of 10 points. We going by ones, and they never win a game because they were great hoopers, but they don't know how to win. Kevin Durant is one of those guys. Kevin Durant is just a pure ball player. He would take off if he going down the street and seeing some niggas playing at the court, he'd stop his car, lace up his shoes, and go play with them. That's what kind of player he is. I think he would do that to the day he died. I'm not taking it, and it's like when you say something about Kevin Durant, it's like you saying something bad. I'm not saying nothing bad. He struck the best seasons Kevin Durant had is when he went to Golden State, when he did not have to be the #1 guy. Was he the best player on that team physically? Yes. But he was able to just go out there and shoot the ball. Steph Curry, Draymond Green was the leaders of that team. He was able to, like you just said, go out there and just play basketball. Look what's happening in Houston. When he has to be a leader of those young guys in Houston, he doesn't want the mic in his face. He just wants to play basketball. Westbrook didn't give a fuck if you put the mic in his face. He was the leader. He took on everything that Kevin Durant didn't want to take on. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think we agree, but we don't agree. Because I do believe Kevin Durant was the leader on that Oklahoma City team, and that's why they didn't win the championship. Let's agree on that. I think he was the leader, and I think they didn't win because Kevin Durant wasn't a real leader.
I can.
Like you just said, Joe, you put these guys in positions they're not really should be in, and I think that was going on with him. And even think about when they had Golden State down 3-1. There's no way in fuck they should have lost that series. When Westbrook and Durant got that 3-1 lead against Golden State, when the Golden State won 73 games that year in the regular season, they had no business losing that series. But what did they do? They got away from what got them to that point and started playing selfish basketball. And next you know, Golden State came all the way back and 1-7.
I agree with that. My memory about when I found out that Westbrook was leader of the team is when they were playing my Spurs when we went and won our championship again. Because we lost the first time against the Heat, the second time. Yeah. And I remember Westbrook was cooking Tony Parker. I'm talking about hibachi cooking this nigga. And they, on the last play of the game, Westbrook was doing like this to get the ball from Kevin Durant. The coach, I think the coach at the time was what's the one that coached at Florida? Billy Donovan.
With the slick hair? Yeah,
Billy Donovan was the coach. And he called the play and put the ball in Kevin Durant's hands. If you would have looked at Westbrook's face and Kevin Durant tried to do a crossover and slip, we took the ball, we scored, we won the game. And I was so happy they did not get a ball to Westbrook because I knew Westbrook was firing. Tony Parker couldn't do shit and never have been able to do anything with. He has never been able. Scott Brooks. He was never able.
Scott Brooks. Yeah.
He was never able to guard Westbrook. And I love Tony Parker, but Tony Parker was never able to physically guard Westbrook. And when I seen that, and then I seen Westbrook's face, I knew after that series that they were not going to be together that long. I knew something was going to happen. And then you double down, like you just said, they 3-1 on Golden State, and then both of those guys started playing hero ball because they couldn't play together. So you're right. We both right.
Hey, we got to a happy medium, right?
Got to a happy medium. But yeah, it's just certain guys that I just feel like get pushed in position that if it's an injury, like Jaylen Brown got pushed to be the #1 in Boston due to injury. But I hate when they try to push a player to be a certain status, which they're not. And then we get mad when they don't live up to the expectations that we thought they should.
Yeah.
But yeah, real quick before we get out of the NBA segment, man, we got the NBA draft recap, man. And the #1 pick was AJ DeBonza going to the Wizards. I was very surprised about that. Darren Peterson going to the Jazz. I thought they were going to swap those picks. I thought it was going to be a trade, and Darren Peterson and Lauren Marketing was going to go to the Wizards, and I thought the Wizards were going to trade on AJ and potentially some draft picks in return, but that didn't happen. That's what was my prediction. Maybe it will happen, but it's too late in the game because the draft was already a week gone. But I thought that would have been a great move. I think that AJ with the Jazz would have been better suited, kind of like LeBron was in Cleveland. I think Peterson in Washington, both of those seem like better situations for the guys, but let's see how it pans out. The third pick was Boozer. Remember, we both thought that Boozer would kind of fall in this draft. We were a little wrong about that. He went to Memphis. Fourth pick was Caleb Wilson going to the Bulls. I think the Bulls got them a great player, but I would have went guard and had I would have went A-Cuff. I think A-Cuff was reminiscent of Derrick Rose, or maybe they want to get away from that stigma of Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
they want to get away. And then rounding out the top five was Keenan Wagler going to the Clippers. I didn't think he was going to go that high. People are really high on this kid. I thought there was a couple guys I would have took in return. But what do you think in this draft? What was surprising to you in this draft?
What was surprising me, and I don't know this kid. He might end up being a good player. The player that the Mavericks drafted at 9, the power forward that plays for Michigan, his former coach and his new coach, they drafted him at number 9. I don't think they should have drafted him at 9. I was hoping they were going to draft your light-skinned guy, Nate Ament from Tennessee. I was hoping that's who they drafted. He fell down to like number 13 or 14, I believe, in the draft. So I don't know if they drafted this kid from Michigan because his new head coach is there. Not saying he won't be a good player, but people say, oh, he was probably a middle of the first round pick, but the Mavericks didn't have a middle of the first round pick. So I guess you draft a guy that you like no matter what part of the draft you're at. But that was a little questionable to me when they did draft this kid.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree because he went over his other two teammates, which went respectively 11 and 12, and Lindeberg and Amar.
Yeah.
Those are two guys I thought would have been better. I didn't even have Johnson being a first-round pick. So to have him be picked 9th, when look at the guys that went after him. Nate Ament is the guy that you mentioned. Christian Anderson, All-American guard from Texas Tech. Okua, guys that can come in and potentially help you right away. I was really my most surprising thing of this draft is how LeBaron Philon fell all the way to 22. That right there really was a head scratch. This is a guy had as a lottery pick. A lot of teams could have used a guard like this. He was only a sophomore, so he wasn't really old as far as college basketball standards were concerned. For him to fall to 22, and he ended up going to the 76ers, where I think he's in a good spot because he's going to get a lot of minutes because Paul George can't stay on the court. And we know Paul George can play the guard or the forward position. And maybe they want to go 3 guards. I think he can come in and help them out. But I'm really surprised how he fell in the draft. I wonder what happened and why he was able to fall so far in the draft when a lot of people had him going at least 10 picks higher. What else did you like? Or what did you like or dislike?
You remember that kid you're talking about? That I think he's from Alabama, right?
Yeah, Alabama. Yeah.
I think he fell in the draft. Remember we were joking about this kid because he got arrested for trying to
sell.
No. Was that the same kid?
That was his teammate Holloway. No, not him.
Okay, so he had nothing to do with that.
No, he had nothing to do with that. No.
Like you said, you don't know how these teams look at these players, why people fall in the draft, but sometimes it's a blessing. He's in a more stable organization in Philly, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to expect him to go in there and play great right away so he can learn the game and get plenty of playing time. He probably come off the bench there, but I think that is a good fit for them. It's all about guards and forwards at this point in the NBA.
No doubt. King Mink said Dallas had to get a guy from Michigan. That he said that was a part of the deal of him going from Michigan, the Wolverines, down to Dallas Mavericks.
Might be right.
What's up, Kathy? Kathy is in the building. She says she's late. Her allergies bother you. Hope that you take some Claritin or whatever it is to get better, please, please, please. But appreciate you coming and joining us on the show.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. So,
yes, sir.
I'm sick and tired of where the camera. You got the camera on me?
Yes, sir.
When are we gonna start holding NBA front offices accountable for this bad basketball that we're getting? At what point are we going to start holding these GMs and these scouts of these NBA teams accountable for not scouting the right players? You can't miss on every draft pick. You can't miss on every free agent. You can't miss on every trade. And it's certain teams that has this black cloud over them. Remember on Charlie Brown when the dude was real dirty? It's teams that had that Charlie Brown dirty stuff around their organization. The Brooklyn Nets come to mind. How the fuck do you miss every fucking swing? If you really think about it, they missed on the Kevin Garnett. We just mentioned that. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry. You set your franchise back 10, 15 years. You still haven't recovered from that. You bring in Darren Williams. He was not the player that he was. You bring in Kyrie Irving. You bring in James Harden. You bring in Kevin Durant. You have zero to show from that. Then you trading for Ben Simmons. You have nothing to show for that. At what point in time, then you go bring in recently, you just bring in Julius Randle. Then you had an opportunity to pick certain guys in the draft. And I feel like I like Mikael Brown Jr. I thought he was a dark horse, but to pick him 5 over Acuff. Now I like Brown. Trust me, I think he's gonna be a stud. But to pick him over Acuff, once again, this is another swing and miss. And at one point in time, so are teams like Brooklyn, Sacramento, why do we keep giving these guys passes when none of these motherfuckers even know about NBA basketball? It's like they got a lot of money. You got a lot of foreign players. You got Russian leaders and guys with a lot of money owning these teams and don't know how to draft or evaluate talent. And it shows year in and year out. When the fuck are they going to be held accountable? So
never, because if they have the money to buy a team, the NBA is not going to. They all they care about is that direct deposit hits, and they pay for the team to get in there. They don't give a shit about if these teams thrive or not, because like you said, that old Brooklyn Nets owner, I think he already sold the team. I think he was a Russian billionaire or whatever. He didn't know shit about basketball. But sometimes these owners, you would think a smart owner, a sensible owner, like, look, I'm just a money guy. I'm going to hire somebody to handle the day-to-day basketball stuff, but I don't know what I'm doing. But most of these teams, a lot of these teams don't do that. If you see these teams like Sacramento, for case, they hire Vlade Divac, Sacramento King legend, but he don't know what he's doing when it comes to being the GM. He said he was going to draft Luka, but we're going to go Marvin Bagley because Luka might not want to stay here long term. That's your reasoning for drafting Marvin. He said that in the interview. Yeah, I was going to draft Luka, but I figured we'll just go Marvin Bagley because Luka probably not want to stay here a long time. So these teams that get these people, just because they have a lot of money don't mean they have a lot of common sense. To me, if I'm a billionaire owner, but I know basketball, but if I was a billionaire owner, if I just made a lot of money, I would go out there and hire me a committee. Hey man, look, I want to win here. So I don't like losing. I'm a winner in life. I'm a billionaire. So I'm going to hire people to do this job for me. Smart people. That's what I would do. But a lot of these owners, they don't care about it. They got egos and they want to have say-so on what's going on. And I think that's one of the downfalls. I think a lot of times, a lot of these teams.
And that's why I'm bringing this up, because I remember in the 2003 NBA draft, it was a guy named Dwayne Wade out of Marquette. So they went to the draft, the owners and the scouts. They went to it was 2 days before the draft. They had their final little workout with the players. And one of the guys from Miami said, "Who is that right there?" And they pointed at Dwayne Wade. They had no fucking idea who Dwayne Wade was. How the fuck are you doing your job and you don't know who the fuck Dwayne Wade is? How do you not know who this player is? It's 2 days before the draft and you have no idea who fucking Dwayne Wade is. Like, what are you watching? What are you doing? How are you getting paid when you don't know who the fuck Dwayne Wade is? And in that same fucking draft, so the Detroit Pistons had an opportunity that could have made Detroit the premier team in NBA history. They could have had the run that the Golden State Warriors had, and they had ample opportunity to draft Carmelo Anthony. You fucking draft Darko Milicic. What made you say that Darko Milicic is going to take us to the next hemisphere? Y'all thought he was going to be Dirk? Y'all thought he was going to be Dirk? That's what you thought? You thought he was going to be Dirk? No. Melo was he was a high school champion at Oak Hill. He was a college championship, the only championship that Syracuse have ever had in team history. And they had some great players at Syracuse.
As a freshman, he won.
As a freshman. And you pass up on him for Darko Milicic? That's what I'm talking about. So it's too many of these fucking smarty-arty motherfuckers that they think they're the smartest people in the room. In Detroit, and I say this every time I bring this up. So Detroit, we may be talking about Carmelo Anthony the way we talk about LeBron James.
That's true, but Joe Dumars he probably losing sleep over that to this day. He really screwed that one up. But I don't know, Joe. A lot of times these teams look at their roster and they say, "Oh, we got plenty of small forwards and guys that can score the ball. We don't really need that. like you said, this guy might be the next Dirk. I think they overthought it. Really, honestly, they really, really did. Kind of like when the Seahawks should have ran the ball in the goal line instead of throwing that fucking slant pass, and they ended up in interception. You overthink instead of doing the obvious thing. A lot of times, like you said, Jody, we talk about the Eagles and all these teams that draft players. What do you say, Jody? This guy went to Alabama. This motherfucker won 2 championships. He's all SEC. I'm going to draft him. Instead of that, I'm going to draft an offensive lineman from Ball State. He's not saying that Ball State don't produce good players, but I'm just saying sometimes, and I think these guys, they think they're smarter than everybody in the room, and they overthink things, and they end up fucking up the obvious things.
And that's what I'm so pissed off. So because we could be really this is what I get mad about. We were cheated. We potentially were cheated out having the Detroit-Cleveland series being the ultimate rivalry in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
You put Melo on Detroit that already had Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, and Tayshaun Prince, and Ben Wallace. They didn't have Rasheed Wallace yet. Because I think they ended up getting Rasheed Wallace. Remember, they got him from Atlanta. He played 1 game from Atlanta, and then they picked him up. And then, of course, we know what that could have been. But I would have rather had Melo down the stretch than Rasheed Wallace. Not saying Rasheed Wallace wasn't that shit, but Melo was young. He could play the small or the power forward position, and he can score. That's something Detroit. Remember, Detroit was winning games 78-77. Like, you know what I'm saying? You put Melo in there, a guy that can instantly give you 30 points a game, and then he didn't have to worry about playing defense because you got Ben Wallace and Tayshaun Prince on the team. Yep. So you got 2 dominant all defensive players, and Melo would have just had to focus on scoring the ball. Then you didn't have to worry about leadership because you had Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton. So all this dude would have to do as a rookie in his first few years in the league was just score the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that we will be seeing Detroit with multiple championships, and LeBron James may have been after. Not going to say after, I think LeBron James still would have been LeBron James. But Carmelo could have actually won him a championship before Melo and before LeBron James. And out of that whole ordeal, even Chris Bosh, he don't win any championships. And Dwayne Wade has multiple championships, and LeBron James and Chris Bosh. All those guys have multiple championships. But the only person that didn't have multiple championships was Carmelo Anthony. He didn't have any.
Because you're right, Joe. Like, a lot of people talk shit about Melo like he wasn't that nigga. I hear people say things about Melo was like, oh, he didn't really care about winning because he went to the Knicks. What the fuck does that got to do anything? He went to the team that paid him the most money. Okay, most people take jobs. It's going to pay him the most money. But we act like Melo wasn't a really, really good player in this league. It's not many people that could stop that dude from scoring when he really wanted to.
I'm just mad at some of the shit that these GMs get away with. And because you got a lot of money, we supposed to look the other way. Like, no disrespect to the dead, but Clyde Davis, we looked the other way on shit that he did. He was Diddy's mentor, but Diddy's in jail, and he never spent a day in prison. He died at 94 with $850 million in his account. But Diddy's the one in jail. Okay. We see these guys that are able to benefit off of making decisions, and they never had to take any accountability. The Clippers being another organization that keeps stumbling over shit. They stumble over shit, and they can see the fucking roadblock, and they still stumble. That's how dumb the Clippers organization has been. And it's a disservice to guys that are fans of those organizations. And you got the clear-cut, so it's clear-cut motherfuckers that you need to win. Clear-cut. Yep. Y'all going a different direction. This is the same franchise that drafted Michael Olowokandi at number 1.
Yeah. Yeah. And the candy man could not get that. That was some sugar-free candy they had there. Joe, you ever had sugar-free candy? Fucking terrible. That's what they drafted with the Clippers because he was not that dude. I mean, I'm telling you, Jordan, I would be leery about drafting the big man out of college if he already got knee braces. If you come into the league, you're already wearing knee braces. That's a problem. Him and Greg Oden. If Greg Oden had the talent though, he just couldn't stay healthy. But if I'm drafting you, you already got on knee braces. That's not a good sign for the future.
But not only did he have knee braces, but where was the explosiveness? Where did you see, like, you don't see the Shaq ability. You don't see the Tim Duncan ability. Like, he played for a Pacific. Didn't he play for
Pacific?
When the fuck have you ever seen them play on TV?
Well, I think people like back in that day, I mean, the game has changed so much now. They said, we got to build our team around a center. You know, I think a lot of teams think that they should thought, well, I got to get me a center, man. If I don't have a center, this guy could be, he's a 7-footer. That don't mean he's going to be any damn good. They definitely should have drafted Mike Bibby that year.
Yeah, they definitely would have. But once again, the Clippers organization, the Sacramento King organization, the Brooklyn Net organization, it's just to name a few organizations that seem like they swing and miss every fucking time. Every time. It's like, I don't know, man. And like Kathy said, Jody, with rich people, it's like, look what I can buy.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. And no, and they never want to be wrong. And when they are wrong, they force y'all to believe that there wasn't. It's like zero fucking accountability when they make dumbass decisions. And they like, well, I got a lot of money. It's the reason why I got a lot of money. No, motherfucker, you inherited a lot of your shit. Your parents and your daddy and your grandparents fucking gave you that money. You didn't earn that shit for. Y'all ain't motherfucking Steve Jobs. That's why I respect Cuban. Mark Cuban, he made his own billions. You know what I'm saying? And he made his own decisions. And he made the Dallas Mavericks a champion. You know, by drafting Dirk. You draft Dirk. You know why you draft Dirk? Because when Charles Barkley is saying nobody can fucking guard him, and remember when the Americans went and played, and they said nobody can guard Dirk Nowitzki. They wasn't saying that about motherfucking Dirko Milicic. I ain't never heard a report where motherfuckers said Dirko was cooking a motherfucker overseas. I ain't never heard one of them stories. If you heard the story, please put it on here. Because I ain't never heard a motherfucker say that Dirko was cooking motherfuckers in the tournament.
Yeah, you're right, baby. It's a copycat league. That's why they thought they were getting the next Dirk, but they didn't realize they weren't getting the next Dirk. They were getting the next Candyman.
Hey, they got the next jerk chicken ass motherfucking player y'all got on that goddamn team. Like where are they now? And why do we don't never talk about Dirko Milicic being a bust? We talk about Kwame Brown. We talk about all these other motherfuckers that y'all American-born players. Once again, this is another situation where a foreign-born player was fucking coddled. We don't never talk about Dirko being a bust. We never talk about it.
You know what? What I hate that word buzz, Jody. I really do. We talked about this before. Is because these players didn't ask to be drafted number one. They have a lot of times. Everyone's not meant to be a great player. Some people you might draft number one, like a Joe Smith. Joe Smith was a solid NBA player, number one pick in the draft, but people consider him as not living up to his expectations. Hey man, I was a good player. I wasn't great, but I was solid for my whole career.
Yeah. Hey, why did Soul said, Key Mink said, what will the NBA do with the Clippers for paying Kawhi under the table? Nothing.
There's been rumors that the owner is going to get suspended. He's doing this underhanded bullshit, and that's rumors. That's just rumors. Don't know if that's going to actually happen.
That shit not going to happen, man.
I agree with you. That's just a rumor I heard in these streets.
Yeah. But let's get over to the NFL, man.
Yeah.
The NFL portion of the show is brought to you by our sponsor, Michael Wright, attorney at law. Anything that you got going on, any legal battles that you're fighting, just call Mike. You can call him in any of the 50 states. Don't be subjected to just one state, Ohio. Any state, any city, he can help you out. You can call Mike at 937-222-7477. Just call Mike. But real quick, listen, man. This situation is getting crazier and crazier by the minute. Brandon Ayuk, I guess he's still employed by the San Francisco 49ers. He's a wide receiver that has not played in 2 years. And like you so eloquently put, you say he's not scored a touchdown since Joe Biden was in office. And that's your take, not mine. He basically gets on a live and says he wants to be a commander. So he's not making it. He's not making a secret. It's not a rumor. Right out of his mouth, he said he wants to be a Washington Commander. Man, talk to me about this guy. And would you touch this guy with a 10-foot pole? Because something's going on upstairs with him.
First of all, I just found out yesterday, Jody, that he does not have an agent. So that probably has a lot to do with some of the things he's saying. Because you think if he had a representation, they would be telling him, hey, look, bro, I know you want to play in Washington, but you're killing me over here. You killing me, Smalls. I can't find you a team if you are out here talking bad about the team you're on. Somebody do a wellness check on this brother. I know some of the stuff he's doing on social media, people think it's funny, but bro, he's acting really wild to get away from the 49ers, a team that gave him a shitload of money, and he really didn't produce anything for them since he's been paid. So I think he needs to be a little more humble. And if I'm Washington or any other team, I don't want no parts of this guy on my team. I'm sorry. I would rather take the freaky man, Stephon Diggs, right now, who has produced the last 2 to 3 years, besides that knee injury year that he couldn't play. But right now, Brandon Ayuk scares me if I'm in the NFL team.
I think this is a whole situation where a guy is screaming out for help without saying, help me.
Yeah.
He's saying, help me without saying, help me. And I think that what he's doing, I understand he's trying to be the new
Terrell Owens and forced his way out of San Francisco. This is a guy that has really been, I think he's a mid wide receiver. I don't think he's a elite. I don't think he's a bad wide receiver. I think he's a two, number 3 on a great team, and number 2 on a good team. I don't think he's a number 1, and he got paid like he was a number 1, and he's forcing his hand. And if I'm the Washington Commanders, I stay 100 feet away from this guy. I do not touch him with a 10-foot pole. I think he needs help. I think he needs some evaluations. I know you said he had a knee injury. How does it hurt his head? Because he probably had head injuries maybe in high school, and it's just now showing itself. CTE sometimes don't come immediately. We got to go and check his medical records, see how many concussions he's had, see how much medication he's taken. Because sometimes when you have injuries, I tore my Achilles, I took a boatload of medications. I took so many Vicodin, it jammed my system up. I could use the bathroom for a week because I had to take so much medication and Vicodin to stop the pain. So when you do that, you mess up other stuff. So I'm wondering, and the thing about it, he thinks people are laughing with him. They're laughing at him. So
somebody needs to take his phone. That's for damn sure. I don't know if he's somebody on his team, his family member that love him. They need to go check on this brother, because I'm starting to get concerned. At some point, at first, it'd be like, okay, he's trolling them, whatever, blah blah blah. He's doing the Antonio Brown thing, but bro, it's gone too far. Someone needs to really check on this guy, make sure he's mentally okay. Because the things I'm seeing, they're like over the top. That he's doing way too much, bro. He's doing, like people say, he's doing too much. He's definitely doing too much right now. And I think the last thing he needs to be worried about is playing football. And I don't think anybody's going to give him a shot at this point.
Yeah, because King Ming said that Ayuk wants to be a Commander so bad, he sells jersey outside of D.C., and plus he got a warrant. And then he said it would be really funny if the Commanders don't sign him. I think it's beyond football with him at this point. I think like guys like Antonio Brown, Brandon Ayuk, it's cool when it's about football, but this is going beyond football to me. Like, this guy really needs help, and a lot of NFL players, the CTE is real. I mean, that's something that we can't take. Like, I believe CTE is a real thing.
Oh yeah,
I think that. I mean, we go back to Junior Seau's of the world. Mike Webster is probably the first one that we really seen, and there's probably a ton of other older football players that suffer from CTE. They just didn't know what to call it back then.
Yeah.
But now we have all this medical research, and it's like a lot of parents are taking their kids out of football because of CTE and having them play soccer or having them play basketball or whatnot. I don't want to say that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, and we don't claim to be medical doctor on Against the Grain Sports. So we're not going to diagnose Brandon Ayuk with CTE. You know, we just going by his behavior. And these are signs of people having CTE behavior type of situations. I just hope this kid gets it together, man, because is he talented? Yes. But is he worth all this that he'll bring to an organization? Like you said, once they put the camera in front of him, put the mic in front of him, it ain't no telling what he'll say if he goes to the Commander. Then it becomes a sideshow for the Commander. What do you think about that, Saul?
100% agree with Jody on your CTE take. Look at the young brother that just passed away a few weeks ago, Alden Smith, former Niner, former
Raider.
Yeah. Apparently his family is going to donate his brain to science, because I'm thinking that he suffered from forms of CTE as well. So it's real. I know people out there try to say it's not real, but bro, your brain is not supposed to take that type of damage. It messes with your nervous system. So yeah, it is real. I know a lot of idiots out there like to think it's not, but it's a true thing. It's going on. Brain injuries is a real deal, not just in football and other sports, contact sports like hockey, and no one takes more blows to the head than boxing. So yeah, it's a real deal.
You know what's crazy? I want to talk about this, man. Kind of changing gears. Brandon Ayuk and my man King Minks. I'm gonna put what he said up here, and the reason why I'm put what he said up there is because I was saying this shit from day one. My man King Minks, man, longtime fan of Against the Grain Sports. He said the CFL won't allow quarterback Brandon Sorsley to join the league this season. What the fuck did I say? What have I been? He doesn't deserve an opportunity to get to the CFL, the NFL, supplemental draft. You see that the supplemental draft said they're not going to draft him.
They're not having the draft at all.
No, and they know that because somebody would fucking draft him. And he has to go in the 2027 NFL draft, which I think is a accurate situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not a suspension, so quote unquote, but he has to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna see what his stock is like when he doesn't play a game of football. Who is going to draft this guy after sitting out a whole year of football? Who's gonna draft Brandon Shorsby? And we see the CFL like they don't want to touch the nigga either. Talk to me, so.
Well, the biggest thing is not that the kid can't play at the next level, second or third string quarterback. I don't think he's a starter, but this the gambling thing. No one's gonna, like you said, no one's gonna touch Brandon Ayuk. No one's gonna touch this guy with 10 football. He can't play in the arena league football right now. No one wants no parts of this guy because of the whole gambling allegations. But if he can get that situation controlled and work out all this year, and of course, when the next year rolls around and before the draft, he's going to have personal workouts. People are going to look at this kid. I guarantee you, Jody, he's a quarterback. And we are hungry for quarterbacks in the NFL. And somebody is going to give this kid a shot next year. I'm not saying he's going to be a star player or anything of that nature, but he is a quarterback. And I got a feeling if he shows up to someone's training camp and plays well, I guarantee he'll be on the roster next year.
So once again, we're gonna say a quarterback that was in a less congested quarterback crop this year. This year, if he would have came out, this would have been the year to come out. He didn't have a lot of competition at the quarterback position. We had what was it, 2 quarterbacks that went in the first round this year? We normally see 5 or 6 quarterbacks that go in the first round. Now, potentially this year, they saying it could be 7 quarterbacks going in the first round. So you think him staying away from football for 1 year, and all of a sudden his draft stock goes up?
No, I never said he was going to get drafted, Jody. I said an opportunity in the league. I never said the kid was going to get drafted. He can be a walk-on and try out for a team, and he can be on a practice squad. I'm not saying the guy's going to be a star or anything, but I just know in the NFL, they are desperate for quarterbacks. Like, man, Jody, first of all, I want to find those girls I sent you that picture of, them soccer girls. We got to find out what they are.
Yeah,
we got to get them. We got to get them twins on the show. I don't know if they're twins. Hey, God damn it, I kept looking at them.
That's my screensaver. But the thing about this kid, I understand the opportunity. I just don't think he should get an opportunity. That's cool. Yeah. I just don't think he will be a quarterback in the NFL because look at the challenges. And all I'm saying is, if he played this year, I think he could have, of course, increased his stock. I think playing in the Texas Tech offense where, that's Big 12 football. He was in the Big 12 with UC. I think he has some talent. But to sit up here and say that his stock gets higher after missing a year would be preposterous. So I'm really even scratching my head on him even getting the invite to a team around the league. He can have a workout, but we've seen quarterbacks that play fucking stock go down, and they play well. Shedeur Sanders being one of them. What's Kenny Pickett being another one. Malik Willis, when he came out of Liberty, he was supposed to be a first-round draft, but he dropped to the 3rd round, and now he's finally getting an opportunity in the NFL after so many years, after going to his 3rd team, going from Tennessee to Green Bay, now over to Miami. But this is a guy that was potentially going to be the 6th pick overall to the Carolina Panthers, and he drops to the 3rd round in the draft. So my thing is, we starving for quarterbacks in the league, but just because you are a quarterback don't mean that you automatically should get an opportunity.
Jody, think about this, bro. In the NFL draft, more in the NFL than in the NBA draft, especially when it comes to quarterbacks, when they got film on you, they break down this film, they overanalyze these players, they critique the hands, the size, hand, everything. His drop backs, every single thing. Sometimes you're better off not playing. All the thing you have is get ready for these pro days. He can have his own fucking pro day, whatever. And that's what the film they have to go on. It might benefit him in the long run.
Well, the question is, does he get invited to the combines? That's going to be the question.
That's a great question.
And then if he does have a pro day, since he never played a snap with Texas Tech, where would his pro day be held at?
He can have a pro day at the local high school and invite those wide receivers from that local high school to catch passes from it. And I guarantee you, if it's on film, whether the scouts are there or not, people are going to see it. And if he's impressive enough to someone to give him a shot, because it's a low risk, high reward thing. If they bring him in, if it works out, look, man, we got ourselves a steal here. This kid's not even drafted. We're paying him pennies. He might end up being the 2nd or 3rd string on our roster. But if you don't do shit, we'll just get rid of him.
I like that take. But if he gets on the team before Kaepernick gets on the fucking team,
Well, Kaepernick, that's another man. That's
I get it. I get
Kaepernick,
it.
bro. Kaepernick ain't never playing football again.
He's not. But I'm just saying, Kaepernick actually impressed in his pro day. Remember they had his pro
that's
day after it happened. And this is a guy that took his team to the Super Bowl and was a play away from winning it. And this guy has never played another snap because of we know what happened. But the thing about it is, it's a lot of people that's apologizing to Kaepernick because he was right. And my thing is still for him not to have a opportunity in the NFL is preposterous. Now, at this point, it's not preposterous at this point, but when he was trying to get back in the league, because you know he was in the same draft as Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton is still in the fucking league. So let's not say he's too old because Andy Dalton is still in the goddamn.
But Andy Dalton played. He was a company man. Kaepernick was not a company man. He went by the own beat of his drum, and he suffered from that as far as playing in the NFL. But Andy Dalton and some of these other players, they're gonna play the company role, and it's gonna benefit them by staying.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the thing about it is Andy Dalton, I don't want to hear the commentary. Well, at this point, he's too old. Andy Dalton is still in the league. And don't say nobody in history can ever say a quarterback too old when you go get Phillip Rivers old ass. Like, don't you can go ahead and throw that analogy out the fucking window that a quarterback that ain't played in 5 years can't play in the NFL. You just don't want Kaepernick in the NFL because you brought Phillip Rivers. You brought Phillip Rivers after 5 years dismissed from the NFL. You bring his old ass back. I don't ever want anybody in NFL history to ever say some shit because let's take a perspective before we get to the next topic. The Indianapolis Colts have done some bullshit over the last 10 years. Let me tell you what they went and got it. They got rid of their head coach and bring in fucking Jeff fucking Saturday, who was coaching high school, and he wasn't even the head coach at the high school. So you bring a guy that never been a head coach at any level to coach a NFL team. So I don't want to ever hear nobody talk about this guy needs experience when Jeff Saturday came off the sidelines of a high school team, a high school game, and he became the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts had a first round 4 pick overall on their bench. And instead of seeing what they got in him, and that's Anthony Richardson, who has a winning record as a starter, they said, fuck all that. We're going to go grab a motherfucker that ain't played in 5 years that is set to go to the Hall of Fame. And he only played 1 year with our organization, but he's an all-time great. We're going to bring Phillip Rivers. Do you see the bullshit that the Indianapolis Colts have pulled over the years and nobody's really said anything fucking about?
Jody, this goes back to your take about the holding the organizations accountable for situations like that. The owner, I don't want to speak ill of the dead. The owner of the Indianapolis Colts passed away maybe last year, 2 years ago. The dude was a well-known alcoholic and pill head. He got busted for pills. You would think he would have been suspended or not be able to be the owner anymore. This situation that you're speaking of, he was making those moves. He brought in Jeff Saturday because he was cool with Jeff Saturday. He played for the team. You want to coach my fucking team? Go ahead. We see these type of things go on in professional sport. Daniel Snyder was a fan of the Washington Redskins. He brought the team and just brought in his favorite players, brought old ass Bruce Smith in there, old ass Deion Sanders that had 8 toes at the time, but damn near about to get his toes cut off, bad back. Bring all these guys and paying them big money because he liked those players growing up. So he brings them into the organization. They drafted Dwayne Haskins because he went to high school with his son. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. Things of this nature that go on because the guys that pay the bills, who's going to tell him he can't do it? He's going to check him. The commissioners, they work the owners. The commissioner work for the owners. So who's going to check these owners? No one is.
And that's the problem when it comes to professional sports. I think we're getting cheated.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fans and media and everybody surrounding, we're getting cheated because we got so many arrogant motherfuckers that got money. And like you just said, who gonna check? Who gonna check me, boo? Yeah. Who gonna check me? I'm Robert Kraft, and I can go get all the massages from young women that I want, and nobody's gonna say anything to me because I own the team. But Deshaun Watson is gonna be ridiculed for the rest of his goddamn life for doing something. At least the women were of age. There's
a difference between being a boss and being an employee. And the players are employees, and the boss makes the rules, and they can change them whenever the fuck they want to.
And that's the problem. Like, and then you're looking at evaluations. People have personal vendettas against people. There's an underlying racist undertone on a lot of situations. Not on every situation, but it does play a part because what they did to Lamar Jackson was criminal. The whole league had a collusion, and it's been reports. Go read up on them where they did not want to sign them. We talking about the MVP. Who the fuck doesn't want to sign an MVP that's under 28 years old?
Yep.
Name a player that don't name an MVP quarterback that cannot get signed by any team. You telling me the Cleveland Browns couldn't use Lamar Jackson? You telling me the New York Jets couldn't use Lamar Jackson? You telling me none of these teams that never had a MVP? Well, the Cleveland Browns did have an MVP quarterback, but haven't had a quarterback in years. You telling me that you wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson?
That's the NFL for you, bro. The NFL, when they get together and they decide they're gonna blackball somebody or control the situation, they the mafia. They can control the situation. You don't want to get on their bad side. Because once you're on their bad side, for the most part, you're stuck on that bad side.
And
so that, 100%. Man, you were talking about teams, Jody. At that time, Lamar Jackson, you think gave up 2 first-round picks and got Lamar Jackson. Most of the team, he's better than 25 of the other NFL quarterbacks. Somebody could have got Lamar Jackson for 2 first-round picks. The Commanders come to mind. We thought maybe they were going to try to trade for him, but they didn't do it because they were told not to do it because all the owners stick together.
And the crazy thing, you only hear that about certain quarterbacks. You only hear this shit about Shedeur Sanders. You only hear this shit about Lamar Jackson. You only hear this about Anthony Richardson. And I know people are like, oh, Jody, you making it a race thing. I'm just going by the actual facts. I'm not saying it happens to everyone because it happened to Tim Tebow. I think Tim Tebow won a playoff game, something that Tony Romo struggled to do. But Tony Romo kept getting contracts, and Tim Tebow get the old he-ho. Tim Tebow had to go play fullback and tight end just to stay on the NFL roster. So it's not subjected to race. It's all subjected, like you said, do you like this player or not? And it just seems like these certain situations, like we go back to Doug Williams. How the fuck are you the Super Bowl MVP and you never play another snap in the NFL, so? How the fuck do you not play? You beat the shit out of the Denver Broncos, 42-10. That should have been a team that could have repeated. That should have been a team that should have repeated with the talent because y'all didn't lose nobody.
Nope.
Y'all didn't lose nobody, so why? And y'all beat the fuck out of the Denver Broncos. Now I understand the 49ers retooled. 49ers retooled. Jerry Rice and Joe Montana was fantastic that next year. But you telling me the Redskins couldn't do it again or potentially do it with Doug Williams? He never played another snap in the NFL. Yeah. And y'all don't, Dr. Umar, y'all don't find that suspicious? Y'all don't find that suspicious?
Very suspicious. We need to get Dr. Umar on this and find out what really went on. He would definitely get it right.
But do you hear what I'm saying? Like,
I agree with you 100%.
The shit is suspicious. Like,
it is.
Listen, I'm not gonna let that go. Why Doug Williams never played another snap in the NFL after winning Super Bowl MVP? And you gotta think he was drafted in what, 77? So that's only 10 years in the league.
Jody,
that's not too old.
Think about this, Jody. But you know one thing though, he never played again, but he ain't never been wanting to find an NFL job. He keeps him a job in the NFL. They make sure they take care of that man. Am I right?
Now, is that because they feel guilty about the situation?
Could
about
be.
Not playing again?
Could be. The ownership has changed for the Commanders 2 or 3 times, and he still has a job on the team. Probably getting nice paychecks at that too.
And like I said, I agree, but sometimes I would rather have seen him play. He could even play for another team. He didn't have to play for the Commanders. Like I said, we starving for quarterbacks, but I guess we only starve for certain type of quarterbacks.
Well, we all live in this country, but we don't have to follow the same rules sometimes. We'll all be one country, one nation, but sometimes it's more than one. The rules are different from some people.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, just as recent, Russell Wilson has to go to the media aspect of things. He has to potentially early retire because he's only like 35 years old. I
blame the Broncos head coach for that. That's why I never liked Sean Payton. I never will, because I think he did the Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson dirty. I never liked that guy, and I don't give a fuck if Sean Payton wins 4 Super Bowls with the Broncos. I'm never going to respect that man for that situation.
But 35 years old is normally a prime.
No, you're right.
We've seen quarterbacks sign 2 other deals, major deals after the age of 35.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson wasn't complete ass. I know people want to say that he was. Let's go back to when he left Denver. Actually, let's go when he got to Denver. Yeah, he struggled his first year under Nathan Hackett, but he was trying to play. He thought he was Aaron Rodgers, and he ran the same offense that he ran for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Didn't work out. Okay, cool. Well, the next season when your boy came in, they were 1 game out of the playoffs. This is a team led by Russell Wilson that beat Buffalo in Buffalo. Josh Allen led team. Also beat Kansas City that year and was a game away from like like 3 games left in the season, still had a chance to win the division. They ended up doing it, and then they got rid of him. Of course, they brought Bo Nix in. Okay, he goes over to Pittsburgh. He leads Pittsburgh to the playoffs. He has a couple games. Well, he had a game he threw for over 400 yards against the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, well, let's get rid of him. Okay, cool. He goes to the Giants. He had a 450-yard game against the Dallas Cowboys that they lost in overtime. But and they lost Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver. But okay, he's still not good enough to play. Now he has to go to the media booth. So you telling me he's not better than Geno Smith? You telling me he's not better? To be honest, I know they want to go younger. You don't think he's better than Malik Willis? You don't think he's better than a lot of these quarterbacks that's playing in the league? I understand you got a lot of young quarterbacks in the league. He's not better than Daniel Jones?
He's better than all those guys. But sometimes, man, in the NFL, when they get a stain on you and your credit report gets bad, you can't do anything to get that off of you. The NFL does that to a lot of players. They pick and choose who they do this to. Okay, they don't do it to everyone. Everyone's not getting the same treatment in NFL. And I think Russell, this might sound crazy, he got a raw deal in every team he's been on ever since he left Seattle. Yeah,
it's crazy work. He's one of the only guys in the league that got multiple 400-yard games for multiple teams. Yeah. This guy threw for 400 yards with the Steelers one year. Then the next year he throws for over 400 yards with the New York Giants. But he don't have a job. But fucking, you keep signing Joe Flacco old ass.
Yeah.
I think Flacco's older than Russell Wilson. I do believe, right?
Yeah, but none of Joe Flacco's head coaches ever thrown him under the bus like Sean Payton. And he's yelled at. I'm not saying people shouldn't get yelled at. I understand, but the way he yelled at that man, that's no. You don't see that from NFL coaches anymore. They might do it behind closed doors, but for him to yell at a Super Bowl winning quarterback like that, I've never seen it. And I lost respect for Sean Payton. Not that I ever had a whole bunch of respect for him, but that made it even worse for me when I saw him yelling at Russell like that on the sidelines. I don't see him yelling at that young boy now like that, does he? He don't yell at him like that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Kathy said not only that, they will keep a business that loses money to write it off on tax expense. She's talking about owners when they make bad decisions because they never want to. They have zero accountability. I've yet to see anybody take accountability for signing a bad player. So I have never seen a GM or a coach come in there like, I made a mistake. I made a bad hire, coach. I made a bad. We drafted this guy. He didn't pan out. And when they do it, they blame the player. Like Haslin said, he didn't even want Shedeur Sanders. As an owner, do you come out and say you don't want a player that's on your active roster?
Yeah. To me, hey, Joe, it's crazy work, like we say on this show all the time. I know I've been talking about Daniel Snyder a lot, but when he was with the Washington Commanders, Redskins football team, whatever we call when he was owner, he even fudged his books to get more money from the other owners. He lied about the gate. Bro, that affects your taxes and everything. This some bitch should be in jail, indicted for charges for doing that kind of shit.
But once again, when you got people in high places, when you got a lot of money, I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. They pay lawyers, they pay judges, they pay senators. Motherfuckers grease pockets of people that got high positions that can make decisions for everybody. But nobody wants to talk about that shit. Sports is a big deal. Sports is one of the major revenues in American history. So you don't think it's corruption going on? Anywhere you see a lot of money, there's corruption to follow. I don't give a fuck what y'all want to say. And I'm not trying to turn this to a political show because that's not what I do. But is you think that these owners, like you just said, look at all the owners' nationalities. There's only one minority owner in the NFL. Out of 32 teams, only one minority, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
There's no black ownership in football. There's no black ownership. I think there's no black ownership in basketball anymore either, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope.
Not because Michael Jordan is no longer the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. And then there's no black ownership in baseball. But you're supposed to sell me on it's equal opportunity out here.
Look how racist the Clippers owner. He was a piece of shit. He treated his players like he was a slave owner, and they were working on his plantation. And you would think, but you know what a parting gift he gets? Oh, we're gonna make you sell your team. We're gonna give you billions of dollars to go away. Where's the fucking punishment in that? How about you take these motherfuckers teams from them instead of just selling them and them getting all the fucking money?
Think about it. So he bought that team, I think, for like 190 million. He made like 6.2 billion or something. Don't correct me on my number, but I know he made billions of dollars profit because And the thing about it, before he bought that team, you know who was trying to buy the team and they declined the sale?
Was it Oprah?
Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey tried to buy the Clippers and they said, oh no, you can't buy. We talking about we gonna let you do this, but we ain't gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
Just like I told you now, and we got a segment that me and Ray talked about. We're gonna put on the show called A Hill That You're Willing to Die On. And when he gets on the show again, we're gonna start implementing that in there. And one of the things is when I see the Denver Broncos being up for sale and Byron Allen was about to buy the Denver Broncos, what did they say? Call fucking Walmart ownership, because that's the only motherfucker compete with them money. And it was okay for Walmart to come in. They never battled Walmart for buying a team. And Byron Allen couldn't buy the team, even though he had enough revenue. They had to call in a bigger dog. Can't nobody compete with Walmart financially?
Nope.
Not by itself. So Byron Allen, who had enough money, that would have been an African-American owner of the Denver Broncos, was not able to do it. Going to your Washington Commanders, when they forced Daniel Snyder's sale, they had a guy named Brian Davis. Used to play for the Duke Blue Devils. Remember, he played for Duke Blue Devils when they won the championship. He was coming in to buy this team. He had billions of dollars. I don't know how he made his billions, but he's a billionaire. And one of my constituents knew him, grew up with him in the D.C. area. He's a D.C. guy. And he was going to offer $1 billion more than they offer in price. And they still sold it to the Harris Group.
Yeah. This is what happens, Jody, when the owners vote on this type of thing. They decide, and this is the last thing they have, brother. The brothers are taking over the quarterbacks. They're trying to fight us on the head coach thing. We're all over the football field. The last thing they're holding on to is that ownership. And believe me, brother, they are not willing to let that rope go. So once we start getting our foot in the door, it's gonna be minority owners all over the league, and they're not in a hurry to let that happen.
No, I don't. To be honest with you, so I don't think it ever will happen.
I think it will.
What they will do is they put like a Magic Johnson, who has the All-American smile. They put him on the group to make it look like they got ownership from African Americans. Magic Johnson can't make no decisions on the Washington Commanders.
He's a part owner. I don't know how much percentage.
That's my whole point.
Yeah,
he don't own majority of the team. He can't make no decisions with the Dodgers. He's on these committees. Now, personally, it's great for Magic Johnson, and we think we getting a leg up. They never gonna let Magic Johnson be the majority owner of any of these fucking teams. The only one they let.
I want to say never, Jody. I wouldn't never say never.
Okay, never is a wrong term. But they did the shit with Michael Jordan, and guess what they did? They let Michael Jordan build that Charlotte Hornet team up, and then the people that sold him the team came back and sold it, got it for cheaper, and it's worth more. They let Michael Jordan build that shit up, and then came and took it right back from under his nose. These are people that Michael Jordan trusted, and he got swindled in that deal. We don't want to talk about Michael Jordan getting swindled in a deal. Yeah, Michael Jordan got swindled in a deal by people that he trusted that didn't look like him. He didn't fuck with nobody that looked like him, which he should have did. He should have been like, okay, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Diddy was out. When he was out, Dr. Dre, people that are worth Jay-Z. Hey, bro, I got this Charlotte Hornet team. Why don't y'all come and be the fucking minority owners and we can keep it where it needs to be? Did he do that? No, he didn't fucking do that. No, he didn't do it.
Jordan, let's talk about Dr. Dre, one of the best producers, not just in hip hop, in the world. He done some things that I didn't like. I remember he donated all that money to USC and millions of dollars to that school. USC don't need no money. Why did he just donate? He didn't go to USC. Why didn't he donate that money to some HBCUs that really need that money?
We talked about that.
But it's his money. His money. He do what he wants. I'm just saying, for me, I will be kind of looking out for my people if they need the money more than me. That's just my opinion. But I'm speaking for me, brother.
The only thing I'm gonna go against the grain on is because that the HBCU, the farthest west it goes is Texas. So the West Coast has 0 HBCUs.
But why does that matter when you got as much money as him? I don't get it. Shit about that.
All I'm saying is he has a relationship with USC Film School because the only thing I'm thinking. And I get what you're saying, but the only reason I'm not going to push back as much on Dr. Dre, it'd be different if Dr. Dre was from Memphis, Tennessee, and or he's from Ohio and Central State is right here and Wilberforce is right here, or he's from Atlanta and Clark, Atlanta, and all those. He lived in DC and Howard is right there. I would understand that he's from those places, and then he donated all the way to another place but he's from California, and USC is in the ghetto. Like USC is in smack in South Central, it's like you come off the campus and nigga, you might get in a drive-by 2 blocks away from campus. And that's normal. So only reason I'm gonna push back on that is Dr. Dre, that USC is their home, that's their home shit. Like, so
I get it. I know why he did it. To me, for my money, I think I'd have done something different. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, he still can, but you got to think my HBCUs is only a Southern and Midwestern thing. You don't see you're not gonna see a HBCU in Washington, Spokane, Washington. You're not gonna see one in Portland, Oregon. You're not gonna see one in Montana, Utah. You're gonna see them mostly in Southern states. That's all I'm saying. But let's keep it going, man. I got another question for you, man, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of where do we put Dallas Cowboy wide receiver? Where do we put him at? Where is he a top 5 receiver still? Is he a, you know, my son loves him to death and thinks he's a top 3 receiver. So when my son called and he said, oh, CD Lamb, he's a Cowboy fan. I'm like, are you being biased or are we being for real? He said, no, look at the numbers. He has more catches over this span than these guys. I said, you know, he's my son, so he's gonna give you a compelling argument. But so let's go down the list, and I'm gonna ask.
I like this. Let's go, baby.
I'm gonna give you 5 wide receivers. So you tell me, is CD Lamb better than these 5 wide receivers? So starting off is AJ Brown. Is CD Lamb better than AJ Brown? Now look at this. Now before you answer, his whole resume, Super Bowls included, wins. I don't care about how the quarterback, none of that shit. I don't care if the quarterback was injured or not. Who is the better receiver? Is AJ Brown better than CD Lamb?
I'm taking CD Lamb over AJ Brown.
Why?
I think he's a better deep threat. I think he's got better hands than AJ Brown. AJ Brown dropped a lot of passes last year, and he's more of a team guy than AJ Brown. I'm going CD Lamb. I would take CD Lamb over AJ Brown right now.
I'm gonna take CD Lamb over, but I seen CD Lamb drop passes against the Philadelphia.
It's not perfect.
Drop passes against the Philadelphia Eagles. He has not yet won a Super Bowl. He doesn't draw as much, attention, I believe, as AJ Brown did with the Eagles. I think he, with George Pickens on the other side, I think he's fantastic. But a lot of times his stats to me are empty calories, as some people like to call it. I see him having great games, but it's not for victories, in my opinion. But overall talent, I think CeeDee Lamb is a better route runner. He's a higher volume catcher. So I would go CeeDee Lamb slightly over AJ Brown, but it's very slightly. Okay, now the next one. His name is Justin Jefferson, who has not been the Justin Jefferson we have seen the last couple of years, maybe because of the quarterback situation or whatnot, but Justin Jefferson hasn't been the guy he was in his first 2 years that he is the last 2 years. So CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson at this juncture of their career?
All those things you named, Justin Jefferson is better than CeeDee Lamb at all those. The route running, deep route. I think Justin Jefferson has a bounce back this year. I really think Kyler Murray's going to have a bounce back year also. So I'm definitely taking Justin Jefferson over CeeDee Lamb.
I'm gonna agree. I take Justin Jefferson as well over CeeDee Lamb. I think Justin Jefferson just getting a raw deal at the quarterback position. Even though I'm really big fan of J.J. McCarthy, he just hasn't developed into the guy that we thought he was going to be yet. I still believe that he can. Justin Jefferson still is catching 1,000 yards with me throwing the ball to him. So I got to give that into consideration. But one thing that I do knock Justin Jefferson, even since he's been in the league, he doesn't catch a whole bunch of touchdown passes. He's very good. He reminds me of Julio Jones. He catches a lot of passes between the 20s, but in the red zone, he's not a threat like I want him to be. But he's still a fantastic receiver. At one point in time, I thought he was the best receiver in the league. I don't think that now. I don't think that he's the best receiver in the league, but he's still top 5 in my book.
He has best year with Kirk Cousins for the most part, right?
He did. Yeah. But I just think that he don't catch a lot of touchdown passes. Like he's not gonna give you 15, 17 touchdown passes like some of the other guys have done that not even on his list. But let's keep it moving. So I think we both agree Justin Jefferson is better than CeeDee Lamb at this point. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Detroit Lions wide receiver, is he better than CeeDee Lamb at this point in his career?
Some people say Amon St. Brown's not even the best wide receiver on this roster. Some people might think the young brother from Alabama is actually the best wide receiver on that roster. So no, I like St. Brown. Very good possession receiver, but I think CeeDee Lamb's a better wide receiver than Amon St. Brown.
This is a very difficult. It's more difficult than you would think because I'm a numbers guy. If you look at the numbers, Amon-Ra St. Brown numbers compared to anybody in the NFL in the last 3 years. There's not. I mean, this guy's is a possession receiver. This guy can catch at volumes. He's a first down machine, and he actually gets the ball in the end zone. But for my money, I got to go CD Lamb for my money. But if I had to cash in and do a return and got Amon-Ra St. Brown in return, I would be happy with that guy because I think this guy is a very underrated receiver in this league. But I will take CD Lamb slightly over Amon-Ra St. Brown. So now it gets a little bit more difficult. So Puka Nacua.
The vampire, Puka the vampire. I'm telling you, Puka's a dog. He really is. I'm gonna go Puka over CD Lamb. Because one thing about Puka, he don't drop no goddamn passes. He's as tough as a tight end. I know you like tight ends. And I'm taking Puka over CD Lamb.
Absolutely.
Better quarterback play though. He definitely has a way better quarterback than what CD Lamb has dealt with the last. Not that I'm feeling shit on Dak, but we are going to say that Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott right now.
He's a better. There's no. I'm not going. That's not a reason. I don't think they got either one of those guys got to fall off at the quarterback position because Dak Prescott looks to CD Lamb a whole hell of a lot. So
yeah,
he's targeted. CD Lamb is targeted as much as Puka Nacua is targeted. And the reason why he doesn't get more targets is he got George Pickens that he got to target. And it's going to be the same thing this year. These guys, pound for pound, I'm going to Lamb, man. I think CD Lamb is better than Puka. I think Puka still got a little bit more seasoning. He's in that crock pot, and he's still cooking up. And I think he just hasn't got there. CD Lamb has proven what he can do. And I think, like Ray like to say, you're a prisoner of the moment. I think he's fantastic. Puka is trust me, I'm a big fan of Puka Nacua. I was talking about Puka Nacua and people couldn't even pronounce his fucking name. People like, who are you talking about? I said, the kid out of BYU. Who is that? So I know about this kid, but CD Lamb, we got to respect what CD Lamb has done.
Yeah.
I'm going to go right now. I got CD Lamb slightly better than Puka Nacua.
Hey, Jody, you got the third pick and the Against the Grain fantasy draft. Mm-hmm. Puka's on the board and CD Lamb. You taking CD Lamb over Puka?
I'm going to take CD Lamb because I think with George Pickens on the other side, I think Puka is still going to put up fantastic numbers, but I think in some cases he could be neutralized because they can double him more than they can't double CD Lamb no more because of George Pickens. There's no way you can double CD Lamb or George Pickens going to go off for some shit in the game. So that's the only thing that's why I said I give a slight edge over CD Lamb. I would go CD Lamb. And last but not least in this one, I ain't gonna name it's not Jamar Chase because we know Jamar Chase is the cream of the crop. I don't think anybody's better. So I'm not gonna name him. But I am gonna name Jackson Smith and Jigma. Or CD Lamb.
My goodness. The Super Bowl winning wide receiver that just won the Super Bowl. He didn't do much in that big.
He got shut down. He got shut down by Gonzalez. A third-year cornerback was able to neutralize this guy.
Maybe that because that Sam Darnold, that average quarterback that the People's Champ loves so much. People's Champ turned that dude into fucking Joe Montana. But anyway, we'll say that argument for another day. Joe, this is probably the toughest one. I'm gonna go Jackson Smith and Jigma. To me, he still has room to grow, to get better. He's still young in the league. Just got his first big deal. I'm gonna go Jackson Smith over CD Lamb.
Okay. King Mink said Lamb is better than Brown. Kathy said Puka. Excuse my spelling. Lamb. She said she got Lamb over Puka. Okay. This one right here, Jackson Smith and Jigma is a complete dog. To me, he hasn't done it as long as CD Lamb has done it. So now if Jackson Smith and Jigma can put together another season like he did this year again, boom, I'm going Jackson Smith and Jigma. And yes, he's Ohio State boy. But I got CD Lamb is not no slouch, man. I still got CD Lamb slightly over Jackson Smith and Jigma. Just because we got to understand, CD Lamb did this since day one.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigma took a couple years to get to where he's at.
Did he really? I mean, I remember him playing very well as a rookie. He had a good rookie season.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing what CD Lamb was doing. CD Lamb was catching 1,500 yards.
I think he was getting more opportunities from the jump than Jackson Smith was getting. I think.
Absolutely, I'm not taking that away, but we got to put all things into consideration. Jackson, you got to think I'm an Ohio State boy. I seen this boy light Utah up for 380 something yards in the bowl game, so I know how good Jackson Smith is. But I just think we got to respect what CD Lamb has already done and what Jackson Smith and Jigma is doing. So at this point in time, for my money, I'm gonna go CD Lamb just slightly over Jackson Smith and Jigma. Now, if he has another year like he had this year, we start saying, is he better than Jamar Chase? But I think some people were like, oh, Jackson Smith and Jigma is the best receiver in the league. I don't necessarily agree with that yet. I think he's fantastic, but I don't think you can just catapult over motherfuckers that have been doing it like a Jamar Chase, been doing it for year in and year out. I believe, and I'm a Browns fan, but I don't believe there's any receiver in the NFL that's even close to Jamar Chase right now.
I think people forget, Jody, and especially in the NFL, they forget how great you are if you have a down year or don't put up the numbers they think you should put up. And people prisoners of the moment, and they remember Jackson Smith having a really good this year, and winning the Super Bowl. That's the last memory people have. So sometimes I think that people get caught up about forgetting how good some of these other players are. But, I agree with you 100%. But Jackson Smith is right there, though.
And that's crazy because we don't talk about Tyreek Hill anymore. Remember, we used to think that Tyreek Hill potentially was the best receiver in football. Now this guy ain't even he's another guy that don't have a team. We keep talking about Brandon Ayuk being traded. We talk about Stephon Diggs, but Hill don't have a team either.
I don't think people know if he's even healthy yet, because that knee injury was pretty horrific he had last year. So maybe he's getting a little longer in the tooth, like you like to say. And with that knee injury, I'm pretty sure he's going to get him he's going to find him a job closer we get to training camp. As long as he can show that knee's healthy, he might be a little bit slower than what he was, but still faster than every goddamn body in the league. So he'll get him a job pretty soon. He might end up, like you said, Joe, he might end up back in Kansas City. Who knows?
My thing is, if you're smart, get him now for the basement bargain deal. Just put him on your roster, and then when he get healthy, you got one of the ultimate weapons. Like you said, even if he slows down a little bit, he's still running a 4.3. That's slow, nigga. 4.3 is still one of the fastest. He still will be top 5 in the league, even if he loses a step or two.
Yeah, a cheetah with 3 good legs is still faster than most people.
So, but. Hey, last but not least, before I get you out of here, I know we about to really enjoy this weather. I'm pretty sure it's some great weather down in Texas and where you're from, guys, all across the country, all across the world. I want everybody to have a good day. But we can't go anywhere. It's Saturday, and we got about 9 more Saturdays or 8 more Saturdays.
Let's go, baby.
Talking football. So right now we're on the SEC, college football SEC. We know I didn't realize the SEC had an odd number of teams. I didn't know they had 15. I thought they had 16. They only have 15 teams in their conference. Odd number. That's kind of rare that you got an odd number of teams in your conference.
Do we count Oklahoma?
Nobody counts Oklahoma. I'm just playing. Nah, yeah, we counted Oklahoma. So these
Oklahoma is what we call them down here in Texas.
They got we got Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Vandy, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Alabama, and Missouri. Me personally, I think they need to add another team. One of the teams that they potentially could bring over they were flirting with is bringing Florida State over to the SEC. I don't know if that's going to happen now. If Florida State leads the ACC, I think the ACC is going to down there collapse because even though Florida State ain't the Florida State team, they still are a team that won a national championship. Them and Clemson are the 2 teams recently in the ACC that won a national championship out of the ACC. But Florida State was flirting with coming with the SEC, but nevertheless, man,
Joe's going to get to a point where we're only going to have 2 conferences. It's going to be SEC and the Big Ten. That's going to be it for the most part.
I'm gonna go slightly against that because they're trying to build back up the Pac-10 or the Pac-12, whatever you want to call them.
What the hell they got left over there?
Well, they added. I think they're supposed to add UNLV. They're supposed to add like Air Force. They still got Oregon State and Washington State.
They can't compete with the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah, but they're trying to bring Boise State over. it's going to be kind of like a MAC type of situation out there because these are the lower tier teams. But my thing is, once they build it back up, they may be able to lower some of the teams back to the Pac-12. Like I can see if they build it back up and then they bring back USC, Oregon, and UCLA at the very in Washington. If you bring those 4 teams back and you add some other, like let's say Boise State has a run and they dominate and keep getting to the, let's say they get the next 4 years, 3 to 4 years, Boise State goes to the college football playoffs and actually win a playoff game or 2. If you can start stealing bids away from teams, maybe USC is tired of getting their head beat in and traveling so far in the Big Ten. Maybe they go back.
You know how much money? You know how much money these USC school is making for hosting Ohio State or hosting Michigan, one of these big schools. I don't see them leaving it. There's too much money to be made in the big conference. I don't see it happening.
True, but guess what? Maybe somebody can hit a lick out there and somebody can lure those teams back. I mean, it happened before. We've seen teams that dance around different conferences. Like, remember Colorado was in the Big 8. They go to the Pac-12. Now they're back in the Big 12. So it's not unheard of a team jumping conferences and going back because Colorado has done it. We've seen that now Oklahoma and Texas. We thought we'd never see them leaving it. Remember Texas was a SWAC. So Texas has been in 3 different conferences. Remember they was in the SWAC, the Big 12, and now they're in the SEC. So Texas is a team that you never thought, but they've been in 3 different conferences. So has Texas A&M. Texas A&M been in 3 different conferences as well. Remember they was in the SWAC, they were in the Big 12, and now they're in the SEC. So teams are gonna go to where the money's at.
You mean the little brother of the Longhorns, the Aggies? they are definitely out. We'll be sunning them all the time.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's go before I get you guys out of here. Let's go over the SEC if we could. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Give your analysis on who are your best teams in the SEC. First one, let's get that out the way. Who are you thinking
the best coach is Kirby Smart. I like him or don't like him. That dude can coach some fucking football. So Georgia's always going to be in my top 3 or 4 in the conference because the way they're being coached. They got the new big hot coach in the league. So definitely Georgia's going to be up there. The Longhorns, with the talent they bring in every year, they're going to be in the top of the conference as well. The Aggies, if they can get some solid quarterback play, which was their issue last year, they're going to be very competitive in this conference. Can the new head coach of who am I thinking about? They just left LSU. Can he get there? He's been doing a lot of big time recruiting and transfer portal. Can he get them back on track? It's going to be very interesting. Can Alabama get back to being Alabama? They were in the playoff last year, but can they push it and win some more games? There's a lot of pressure on Alabama every single year. I would say those are probably the top 4 to 5 teams in that conference.
See, this is my thing. One thing I say about the SEC, you may mention the Texas A&M and their quarterback. They had Marcel Reed. I think Marcel Reed was a Heisman Trophy candidate for the majority of the year. So I don't know if the quarterback is going to be the issue with there. But I'm looking at their conference as a whole, and I think they have some of the best quarterbacks in the country. You got Ole Miss having Chamberlain come back this year.
And he's like 35.
Yeah, but they got him coming back. They got Arch Manning, who potentially could be the number 1 pick of the draft. Georgia got Gunnar Stockton, a guy that finished 7th in the Heisman last year. You got Marshall Reed with Texas A&M. Vandy got a freshman in town that was supposed to replace your favorite quarterback, and Purveya. He's supposed to be just as good or even better than him. You got South Carolina, who got Lenore Sellers coming back, who was a guy that was potentially supposed to be a first-round pick last year, so he comes back. LSU was able to get the kid Lower Sam Levens over from Arizona State. So they're loaded at the quarterback position in this conference. What do you think about that? So this is a conference that's loaded with good quarterbacks, maybe the best in America, because I think their quarterbacks are far superior than the Big Ten at this point. What do you think about that? The quarterback play in the SEC.
They have a lot of veteran quarterbacks, college football wise, that's going to be playing in like Chamberlain. I think he should have came out last year. I think he could have easily been. Maybe he heard rumors he was going to be a Jet, so he didn't want no part to that. But I think he actually could have been a top 5 to 10 pick in his past draft because it wasn't very quarterback heavy. So I think this year is going to be stacked with quarterbacks in the draft. But that kid Sellers from South Carolina. There was a lot of hopes on him last year. I wasn't really impressed with what I saw from him. I think he probably needs a little bit more seasoning, so it's probably best for him to come back this year. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens.
And not to mention, there's a quarterback I didn't mention that was high on a lot of people's Heisman Trophy watch after like the half of the season. Then he broke his hand. John Maynard. John Maynard comes back to Oklahoma. This is a kid that came from Washington State. He had Oklahoma humming, and then he broke his hand, and then he tried to come back against Texas. Remember, I told you I thought he came back way too soon, but I think he wanted to be, that rivalry that y'all have with those guys, get your blood going, your adrenaline going. You don't feel pain. And I think that was a downfall of him coming back, because a lot of times I had him as the quarterback that could have went #1 over Mendoza in the draft mid-season. But that's why you continue to do analysis of quarterbacks and drafts, because you don't know when that shit is gonna change. And I think he came back and he was awful. Let's call it what it was. He was fucking awful when he came back. So he was fucking awful.
Unlike, see, we don't struggle to beat the team up north of us like you guys do. I mean, you finally beat the team up north, but the team north of us, we own them bitches. We own Oklahoma. So y'all just started struggling. Y'all just not started beating Michigan at a consistent basis.
What are you talking about? We beat in the 90s.
Nigga, let's not go back that far. Let's just go back 10 years. Let's not go back 10
years. We're 6.
The 90s were 30 years ago, Jody. 30 years ago. Of late, you guys have struggled against Michigan.
We just beat them last year, but go ahead.
We own Oklahoma. So I don't give a fuck who quarterbacking that team. We're going to kick their ass this year like we did the last couple of years, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm not worried about the Oklahoma Sooners.
I'm going to go ahead and shit on your theory. Don't nobody give a fuck as much as the rivalry of y'all motherfuckers, the Red River. Y'all done changed it from the Red River shootout to the...
Because it's violent, brother. Rivalry. It's violent. We can't say shootout anymore. We have to say rivalry, which is hard to say. What? Red River rivalry.
Well, tell them motherfuckers quit shooting up schools in Texas and shit.
Hey, bro, everybody got guns down here. It's fucking crazy, brother. You go to the local grocery store, Jody.
Why can't you call it a shootout if everybody has a fucking gun? Y'all, this motherfuckers done got soft. How the fuck you can't call it something that's actually happening and shit?
I know.
Anyway, but my thing is, no, our rivalry is the best rivalry in all the sports.
It's a regional thing, brother. Because down here we would not say that. It's a regional thing. It's okay.
No.
For your area, yes, it is the best rivalry. But here in Texas, I'm a sports fan, so I love watching Michigan, Ohio State. But a lot of my people down here don't give a shit about Michigan, Ohio State, because all they care about what's going on here in Texas. I think
they don't give a fuck since we they daddy.
No, they don't care because they don't watch sports like we watch sports.
We all daddy. That's I get that. I would give a fuck if my daddy was always. If I came in and my daddy whooped me every time I came in the house, I'm gonna dislike my dad a little bit too. But let's get back to the SEC, man. Some of the players in the SEC, man, they got some good returning players. Like I said, the quarterback position, they're very stout. I think they have. If you look at the best quarterbacks in the country, these 15 teams, they got at least 8 or 9 quarterbacks that are some of the best quarterbacks in the country. And we don't know what the Auburn quarterback gonna do. I think he's gonna be pretty good. And the Missouri quarterback came from, I believe, from Auburn. So I think he's going to be relatively good. And Alabama quarterback, that's the question mark. I didn't name him because we don't know how good this guy's going to be.
Well, they get him a transfer?
No, he's been there. He played sparingly. When Indiana beat the shit out of him, he played in that game. He was a guy that was a 5-star quarterback that came in and was supposed to be the starting quarterback, but then he ended up, I believe, losing out to Ty Simpson, which was
pretty athletic kid. I think I remember him playing in that playoff game. You're right about that.
Yeah, so he's gonna be the guy. Let's see if he can put it all together. Let's see if they can find a running game. So you said your team that you like. So the teams I like in the SEC is, of course, I think Georgia is still the cream of the crop. I think Georgia is the team to beat until otherwise noted.
I agree.
Not only are they a team to beat in the SEC, I still think they're one of the best teams in the country, teams to beat. Second, I got to go Texas. I think Texas, man, Arch Manning is going. I've never got off the Arch Manning train. I've never got off. A lot of people, when he struggled early on, he ain't the guy. Who said that he's still the guy? It was me. And then he ended up having an absolutely fabulous bowl game against Michigan. He torched their ass. He ran the ball effectively. He threw the ball effectively. He's the most athletic Manning that we've ever seen since their grandfather. So I think Texas bringing in Cam Coleman. I think that they went and revamped their running attack. They went and got some guys to run the ball because I think y'all running game was almost damn near as bad as Alabama's.
Yeah, it was shaky.
Defensively, they got Colin Simmons. This guy is going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. He's a guy to get after the quarterback. You always got to have a guy that can pin the ears back. So I like Texas. I still like Texas A&M. So I still like Texas A&M, man. you got to think they could have beat Miami in the playoff game. They lost on a they was in the red zone. They threw an interception in the end zone.
Didn't they miss like 4 field goals in that game? Something crazy like that.
They did, and Miami played lights out defense, but
they were
the last play of the game was an interception where they were in the red zone. So I mean that could have went either way. And I still like Texas A&M. They got a lot of their guys back. I'm very high on Marcel Reed. I think Marcel Reed is still going to be a top quarterback in the NFL draft. He should be a Heisman Trophy candidate. Cut back on your interceptions because they threw a lot of red zone interceptions.
Yeah.
And then to round out my top 3 or my top 4 in this conference, you're not going to like this, but I'm going to go Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss may have the best quarterback in the conference, maybe in the nation coming into the season in Chamberlain. I think Ole Miss, even without Lane Kiffin, is still one of my top 4 teams in the SEC.
Yeah, Chamberlain was playing really, really good football last year at the end of the year. They just didn't have enough to beat to win a championship, but they're going to be a serious threat this year, and they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder because everyone thinks they're going to fall apart because their head coach left. Remember when he left, they made a playoff run. So I think they're going to have that same chip this year. They're going to be a problem this year in the conference and throughout college football.
Yeah, I remember I didn't think Ole Miss should have got in there. Remember I told you, and it wasn't because of the players. It was because how you lose your head coach and then you still go forward. They actually, you see that it was the players more than it was the coach. But I just think that I've seen other situations that teams like Florida State a couple years ago be 12-0 and don't make the tournament because they lost their quarterback. They actually lost a player that was probably their best player on their team. So
yeah,
I get it. And they went and got destroyed the next game against Georgia. Georgia beat the fuck out of them, who I thought should have been in that tournament as well. So give me a surprise team. You gave me the favorites. Give me a surprise team that could surprise some people. Not necessarily win the conference, but they can be the Vandies of this year.
I'm going to go Tennessee. No one's really talking about them because there's so many good teams in the SEC. And I like their head coach, the former Oklahoma quarterback, he didn't win the Heisman, but he did win a championship with Oklahoma, Josh Heupel. So I'm gonna go. I like their head coach. I'm gonna go Tennessee to be a surprise team in that conference this year.
You go Tennessee. I'm going Florida. I think Florida is a team they've been on the cusp to get over that hump. It was supposed to be last year. Their quarterback transferred to Baylor. He was a sought-after quarterback from Texas. He comes over there. He doesn't really pan out like they thought he was in Florida, so he goes back home where he's going to probably be dynamic. He's going to probably be in the Heisman Trophy watch for Baylor because, the Big 12 don't play no defense no more. I like Florida, man. Florida got a lot of guys that go pro year in and year out, and we don't really talk about Florida because they're not doing as much winning as they've done under Urban Myers. They have not been the same team since they had Aaron Hernandez. I'm joking.
They had killer teams back then.
Hey, they used to cut up the defenses back then. So, yeah.
Hey, Jody, talking about Red River shootout. I mean, goddamn, that's all they know about shootouts.
Hey, when they had those teams, it was bloodbaths in Florida.
Goddamn,
it was. It was blunt trauma when Florida got on the field. Like it was.
They had Tony Montana on their fucking team. They ain't even know.
They used to whip motherfuckers' ass on some real shit. That Florida team.
Oh, they were nasty, bro.
As crazy as they had, they roster was crazy as fuck. Them motherfuckers could.
Hey, then their quarterback was like the complete opposite. It seemed like everybody else on the roster, he was like a choir boy, quiet and just wanted to play football. But everybody else was like gangsters and shit.
You know who that team reminded me of? It reminded me of the Miami Hurricanes of the 80s, where they had a lot of crazy motherfuckers on their team. And then their quarterback was like Bernie Kosar. But yeah, so now give me your team we think is gonna be good, but they're not gonna be very good.
Oklahoma. I know I'm talking shit
about. Get the fuck out of here.
Oklahoma is not. They had a decent season last year. They beat an underwhelming Michigan team that people bragged about, thought they were going to be better than what they were. They beat them in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is not going to be that good this year. I know everyone's hyping them up because they had a decent season last year, made the playoffs, got embarrassed in the playoffs. So Oklahoma is going to go back to being as soon as we know of this year. I expect them to be in the Holiday Bowl.
nothing wrong with the Holiday Bowl. That's
Now,
good.
now when you have expectation of being in the championship game or close to it, no, Holiday
Okay.
Bowl is not one of them.
I'm gonna go with a team that we think is gonna be good and end up being bad. I'm gonna go LSU. I don't think LSU is gonna be the team that everybody think. Not in year one. I think Lane Kiffin is a hell of a coach when he has all the table is set. But I don't think this table is as set as everybody think in LSU. Just because it's a lot of money don't mean first year that you're gonna win a championship. Ask Oregon that shit. Oregon has a whole hell of a lot of money and they ain't won shit. So money and actually putting the product on the field in this very difficult conference, I think is the second best conference in America behind the Big Ten, of course. So
can't argue with you there, brother. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I'm saying?
well, for now, but this shit shifts because people forget before the SEC was dominant, before Ohio State and the Big Ten been playing, nigga, the Big Eight could nobody fuck with them. They couldn't fuck with Oklahoma, Nebraska, Colorado. And then because they didn't move Texas up until they was in the SWAC until like what 98, 97. But before that, Nebraska and Oklahoma was smacking motherfuckers in the mouth year in and year out. People forget that shit. The Big Eight was some shit. But LSU gonna have problems. So I think they and to them, if they don't win 10 games bringing Lane Kiffin in, I think that's a disappointing season. And I think they only win 8 games this year.
Can't wait till they play Ole Miss.
They're not playing. Remember, I thought
they said the schedule was up that they're going to play each other. I looked at it. I thought they were playing.
I gotta look at that because I thought they said for safety reasons they were not going to play or some shit. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I might have just been half asleep reading that shit. So I might have passed out. You know, I'll be passing out in the bathroom and shit, waking up naked. I don't even know. You know, because I am the midnight meat train. So y'all will.
Hey, Jody, they're all playing each other this year.
They are. Where they playing?
Bruh, Saturday, September 19th.
Where they playing at?
I don't know. Let me look at the sketch, see what it says.
That might need to be a neutral
field.
Oh,
bro, it's in Mississippi.
Oh shit.
Oh, hey, bro, that's gonna be get your popcorn ready, baby.
Hey, Lane Kiffin, they better make sure that nigga got major security. Man.
Lane Kiffin might want to come out there with a helmet on.
Yeah, they gonna be throwing batteries and shit.
They be throwing 9 volts at his ass.
But yeah, man, the SEC man they're gonna have some great teams, some great matchups. Now outside of that game, I think everybody's gonna be paying attention. Give me one more game that you're gonna be looking forward to. That could potentially happen.
You mean in the conference?
In the conference, yeah.
Ooh, that's definitely the most high profile game because the situation with the coaches.
Even if they're not on the schedule, that could potentially happen in the championship game.
I would say a rematch of Texas, Georgia. Cause I don't think they play them in the regular season this year. Because Texas got to prove, like you've been saying, Joe, they got to prove they can win a big game. They've won some big games, but they haven't won the big game. They haven't proved that they can beat Georgia yet. So if they can play Georgia again in the playoffs or conference championship game and actually beat them, that will be a big game moving forward for that organization because they haven't proved yet that they can actually win a really big game.
You know what? Georgia's one of the teams, but I want to see Georgia LSU. I want to see if Lane Kiffin can beat Kirby Smart. Like, I think it's more the coaches that I want to see than anything. Because you got to think about it. If you look at the conference, they're the 2 of the highest profile coaches in this conference. Even though the conference has some outstanding coaches in this conference, I think those are the 2 with the highest pedigree, Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart. So I would love this if they play each other, man. That'll be something. I'm gonna be tuning in to a lot of these games.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? The Egg Bowl is gonna be good this year because Mississippi State gonna be better. So the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss and Mississippi State is gonna be good. We know Oklahoma and Texas, of course, is gonna be a battle. Florida, Tennessee is gonna be a battle. Let's see what Alabama can do. You know, South Carolina is that. I don't think they're gonna be good. I don't think they're gonna be bad. They might go 6-6 in conference. They might. I mean, overall, the scary thing you brought up Sellers. The scary thing with Sellers is he was a potential first-round pick, and this is a situation where I agree with you. Maybe not playing helps him. This is one of those situations where less is more. I think the more he plays, the less you figure out if he can lead an NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gonna see more and more that his attributes, he's not the Jalen Hurts that they thought he was gonna be. people forget Jalen Hurts can spin that motherfucking rock, man. He's not just an athletic quarterback.
Case
And a
in
lot of
point,
people
though,
compare
the
him to
Sellers.
Jalen Hurts.
Case in point, Sellers that game. I think they played the Aggies. They were up like 5 scores in that game, and they let the Aggies come all the way back and win that game. Not saying this all on Sellers because the defense gave up a lot of points, but you couldn't get a couple more first downs and maybe win this game. Come on, quarterback.
That definitely goes to coaching. So, man, but great show again today, man. Our sponsors out there, Michael Wright, attorney at law. Anywhere across the country, if you got any legal battles that you're fighting or you need legal advice or legal representation, you want to call Mike. I don't care where you at in the United States, you can call Mike. That's his mantra, Michael Wright, attorney at law. The number is 937-222-7477. Any legal problems, call his office, man. Anytime, around the clock. If you leave a message, he'll get right back with you. But call Mike. But so, man, great show, man. We've been doing our thing. Just a little updates. Everybody out there, man, we got some major heat coming y'all way, man. All I'm gonna say is that I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag, man, until we get some actual stuff signed. But please pray for Against the Grain Sports, man. We got some great stuff going on. But we're gonna get to these bigger markets, these bigger platforms. We never gonna forget you guys because y'all is what got us here. Y'all made us want to come back every day to give y'all more sports content the way that y'all like it, man. We don't do it the way ESPN. No disrespect to ESPN and Fox. We don't give it to it because I think a lot of that stuff is political. We're going to give it to you, and we ain't going to give a fuck what the outcome is going to be. We just going to give it to you with our honest and uncut and unbiased opinions. So
we do this, Jody, for the love, man. We love this thing, bro. I mean, our love for sports is, I'm hoping it bleeds through on doing the show, but we've been doing this for free forever. Because we love it so much. We talk sports just like two brothers sitting on the couch, man. And I think that's what makes us more likable and with the numbers we're getting because we're genuine brothers that speak our truth on this show, not just me and you, everyone else on the show. And I think that's really helping us and the fans that show up and watch our show, definitely. We appreciate all the love because like you said, we couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely. Kathy said she said we had the best rivalry in college next to Army Navy. She think the best rivalry is Army Navy. She also said the Manning family has not the has that football gene, just like the BGs had the music gene. Yeah, the BGs was they was dope.
Oh yeah,
they was dope. And then Key Ming said they play Old Miss Piss. He said Old Piss. Damn, so like who do you like, Key Ming?
He likes Memphis. He likes the Memphis Tigers.
Nobody likes the Memphis Tigers.
That nigga like the Memphis Tigers.
the Memphis Kitties. Hey, we all like to play with the kitties.
Yes, sir.
Kitty cats. Anyway, crazy work. So, man, before we get out of here, man, give me your final thought, man, as we get out of here.
Final thought, man, the World Cup, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, is taking over, and it's taking over Jerry World, Cowboy Stadium. They don't even look like Cowboy Stadium. They come in there, and they changing everything. They put real grass on the field. They took all the Cowboy stuff off the walls, and they actually put up curtains. You know, those giant windows they have on the west side of the stadium that blinds the players. World Cup rolls up in there and said, yeah, that might be a problem. So they put up blackout curtains. That sounds like a simple fix. Jerry Jones, take note. When the World Cup leaves your stadium, leave them fucking curtains up. CD Lamb's in the back of the end zone. The ball's hitting him in the head because he can't see the damn ball. Come on now. Let's do better, baby.
Hey, good final thought, man. I've been in that stadium several times. And
it's crazy, right? It's
crazy,
like that. It's like Cowboys don't have a home field advantage because it's so damn big.
Well, they do because there ain't nothing but Cowboy fans in there. Nobody want to see them but the Cowboys. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Your son's not gonna like that take.
He don't like it at all. But my final thought goes back to what I've been preaching as much as I've been able to have breath in my body and I had understanding is how are we going to get over this hurdle if we don't get minority ownership? Like, how are we going to get over this hurdle? It don't have to just be African-American ownership, but it can't just be one genre of people. It also could be going into the ladies having ownership, but just having one genre of people dictating what goes on, even if it's bad decisions, is not good for anything. And it's been going on for way too long. We've seen, I just made a mention about the NBA. These guys know nothing about NBA. And I ain't gonna say they don't know nothing. That's unfair. But just because you got a lot of money, you come play with the game that a lot of people love and have been loving their whole life and not making right draft decisions and then coming with, like you said, Vlade Divac, like, well, I didn't think Luka was gonna stay. You make it where it's conducive for him to stay. You find the players around you, you pay him, you make it comfortable. You get players to play with him. You get the right coaching staff. You get the right training crew. You get the right development teams. And we see all too many teams that consistently swing and miss when it comes to drafting players or free agencies. And then we go, and when the common denominator is when you look at the top of it, is somebody that never probably put on a jersey, never even played the game. And I just think that we need to get more minority ownership. I don't know where it's going to start, because if you don't let Byron Allen, who is a billionaire, you don't let, guys like Brian Davis, who has billions, you don't let him get it. I don't know who you're going to let get it. So I think we got to change it. I don't know where it changes at. We done made strides, like you said, at the coaches. We done got more African-American coaches. We done got more African-American quarterbacks. But until we get more African-American leadership in all the 4 major sports, I'm not going to be happy. And that's my final thought.
Jody, what do you think about possibly a person that has a background with the NFL and has done some work with them of late? Maybe Jay-Z can be the first African-American real owner in the league, because he's got billions of dollars. Him and his wife got plenty of money. Maybe them.
But I don't think they're going to let them do it. And no disrespect to Jay-Z and Beyonce. I think they got a ton of money. But I want people to get into the game that know the game. Or
they don't need to know the game. They don't have people to do that.
What I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Unless you are, he was trying to be the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, and he had it in a song. He said the Nets can go 0 for 82, and he said he wouldn't give a fuck. I don't want nobody. You heard on the song. He said when he was part ownership of the Nets, he said I don't give a fuck if they go 0 for 82. I don't want no owner that thinks like that.
But Joey, I think he was just trying to rhyme some shit. I don't know if he really felt that way, but basically he was saying he gonna get money regardless, I guess.
Right. People saying that the college football season can't wait for it to arrive. Kathy said they're also taking all the ranch dressing homes.
Oh, she's right about that.
King Ming said Brandon Ayuk just posted a longer video attacking John Lynch, Cal Shanahan, and his own agent, including captions such as "I don't give a fuck how many millions I lose. You've got to respect me first."
But what if they keep him on the roster and just to spite him and piss him off, and they already cut a lot of his guaranteed money? They can do that bullshit. They can keep him on the roster and make it inactive. Sounds fucked up, but he might be doing this to himself, bro.
I really want to know what makes him think like that. This is an organization, like I said, has given him everything that he asked for. So I just want to know, if you're getting everything that you asked for, what's the problem, man? So I don't know, man. Like Brandon, I pray for Brandon Ayuk, man.
Yeah.
Because you're willing to talk about you're going to respect me. I'm like, they did respect you. I thought the ultimate respect is you getting paid. Like if a motherfucker paid me what I'm worth, you respected me. Now, if you pay me and say, go sit your ass in the corner, okay, maybe you're not respecting me. But if they paid you when you didn't deserve to be paid, not saying he didn't deserve to be paid as a player. I'm saying that as far as his level, I don't think his level was on a level of the pay that other wide receivers got. That's what I'm saying.
The nigga think he's better than what he really is. I think he's a decent player, but in his eyes, he thinks he's fucking Jerry Rice, I guess. I don't know,
man. But we'll get to the bottom of this. I don't think this is gonna be the last of his social media rants, and we're gonna be able to see his social media rants on a consistent basis. I hope he gets the help he needs. And I'm thinking the 49 just cut this nigga and then see if he gets signed by the Commander so we can stop with this shit. Like I said, he only following 3 motherfuckers. He following his wife, Jalen Daniels, and the Washington Commanders. Only people he following. And that's big. That's a big thing for these young people, who they following. And how the fuck who following somebody when you got 1 million people following? How do you know one person is gone?
Well, if you follow, they even talked about down here, Jody, Darren Fox, after all the shit that went on during the finals, he stopped following the Spurs on social media. They made that a big thing down. Said, well, okay.
But how do you even know? Like, how do you even know?
Brother, Joe, they got people that track that kind of shit.
That's crazy. He said, Jody, don't he have to ask the commissioner to get back in the league? I don't know. I didn't know.
I don't think he's done anything criminal.
Yeah, I don't think he's been suspended. So I don't think he would have to ask. I just think that he needs to be active. But once again, man, we'll talk about this on a later date, man. Against the Grain Sports, I'm your host, Jody, the Big Unit, the Midnight Meat Train Coleman. Y'all don't have to call me that. But we got my man Drill Solo Sports Glenn, Ray more than just a barber, Lindsay in his absence, Andrew mic'd up, Jason the hefty lefty, Donald, the voice of the youth, young Chris. But we can't do none of this without my man J. Kane, the chef, cooking it up in the kitchen, man. So what we doing until next time?
We working, baby.
Peace, peace, peace.